Time. Leisure time. Did you ever stop to think how much leisure time you really have? Some of us put our leisure time to good use. And some of us, Ken Michaels, for example, spend most of our leisure time just moping.
Moping? He thinks I'm moping. Well, who wouldn't mope? There's nothing to do, nobody's around. You know how it is. I went down to the bowling alley, went over to the drugstore. None of the gang was there. All my friends are busy, so what's for me to do?
Do you suppose Ken has more leisure time than his friends do?
Huh? Well, no, I don't have more time. We all spend about the same amount of time in school, and the rest is leisure time. I've got nothing to do but wait for supper. My friends have more things to do. They're lucky.
Ken's pretty lucky, too.
Listen to that. All right, I'll bite. Why am I lucky?
Because you have so much leisure time. Time in which you can do things you enjoy. Time in which you don't have to work.
Like this, huh? Is that good?
Let me show you a few things. Suppose you had lived 100 years ago. What would you have been like? Take a look.
Where? Oh, is that me? Is that what I would have looked like 100 years ago?
Well, perhaps. But now, well, let's look back 100 years again and see someone else.
Who? Hey, that's my dad.
Young man, you get off that bed and get to work. After you clean out the stable, you can build some new steps for the back porch. While I work 72 hours a week, no son of mine is going to loaf.
72 hours?
12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Tomorrow morning, young man, you're going out to get a regular job. You can work too, and earn your keep.
Not so good, Ken? Well, let's try another picture. Say about 50 years ago.
Oh, hello, son. Well, say, I've got some new pictures for the stereoscope. We'll look at them tonight. Don't forget about your chores. Have them all done by the time I'm through work. And keep the wood box full.
Boy, how long will you work, Dad?
Why, 10 hours. 10 hours a day, every day except Sunday.
60 hours a week? Boy.
Well, Ken, let's take a look at your father's time as it really is today.
Hi, Dad. You sure don't work as long hours as they used to.
That's right, Ken. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do so much work in so little time. This 40-hour week suits me fine. And some people even work shorter hours nowadays. But by the way, Ken, how'd you like to play a quick round of golf before supper? I think we can work it in. And then later I'd like to shellac that new bookcase I'm making.
Well, Ken?
Yes, Dad does enjoy his leisure time. And to think that a few years ago, people didn't have nearly so much time to themselves.
Yes, we've gained a lot of leisure time in the last century or so. All of us.
Wait a minute. All of us? Mother should hear you say that. She's always complaining that she doesn't have enough time.
Well, let's see about that. Can you picture your mother as she might have been 50 years ago?
I guess so.
Why, that's hard work. It takes so much time, too. But that's woman's lot in life. Scrub clothes, carry water, bake bread, feed the chickens, till time to go to bed and then get up again to start all over again.
You see, Ken? Now, how about today?
My, this new washer certainly is a time saver. And I do need some extra time. Now, let's see, I want to do some shopping, but this first.
Wait a minute. This may be easier work, but it still looks like work.
Oh, well, I have to plan the program for the Women's Club next month. That's one of my favorite activities, you know. It does keep me busy, but, well, that's not work.
What do you think, Ken?
Well, Mother does have more leisure time now. But still, she's always busy. How does she find so many things to do? How can I find something to do with my extra time? Or for that matter, what about you? I don't know. It seems as if leisure time is a problem.
Well, let's see how your friends have met that problem.
I told him once my friends were all busy. Oh, busy. They have something to do with their time. Let's see. Last I saw of Dave, he was headed that-a-way.
You mean this way? Yes. Dave has a hobby of identifying birds. It's a pleasant way of spending his time, and besides, it helps him with some of his schoolwork. You can learn quite a bit from hobbies. Here's Bill. Some of his leisure time is spent doing part-time work at the bookstore. Along with earning some spending money, he's getting experience that will help him later on. And Alice is devoting some of her leisure to learning to sew. That's something she'll be glad she did when she's older. And right now, she gets a big kick out of it. Here's the way Marge spends some of her leisure time. She's learning to play the piano. She's getting a lot of pleasure from her own accomplishment, and she's acquiring a skill that will help her socially. And some of the fellows spend their time in group activities that are building them up physically, as well as providing them with a lot of fun.
So that's what they're all doing. No wonder I couldn't find them. I'll bet you think I should figure out something to do with my time. The question is, how will I know it's the right kind of thing? How will I know I'm using my time well?
Your father mentioned a bookcase he was making, didn't he? Remember how he worked at it last night? Mr. Michaels, you gain 3 important things from your hobby, don't you?
Do I? All I know is this is a pleasant change from my work, and I'm learning a few things. Someday, when I get more time, I'm going to make new furniture for the whole house.
Well, there you are. Do you see now, Ken?
I think so. A good use of leisure time should give you a change. It should help you learn things, and, well, I'm not sure about the third.
It's a good idea to have a long-range goal for your leisure time activities. But it isn't always easy to find a single occupation that will give you all 3 values.
Then you should have more than one activity?
It does help. Of course, even one thing to do is better than just moping. For instance, swimming is a pleasant change, a lot of fun, and a chance to build yourself up physically. And what about reading? There's a leisure time activity that will help you learn things you'd like to know about many subjects. And this hobby could have a long-range goal, perhaps a job in the air.
I get it. You know, I took some pictures once. Yeah, I got a camera for Christmas. Now, let's see, what did I do with that camera? It's around here somewhere. I gotta straighten this place up, too. Oh, here it is. You know, photography ought to make a good hobby for me. Yeah, might even want to make a business out of it someday. Thanks.
Well, what about it? Will photography give Ken a change? Can he learn while doing it and perhaps prepare himself for better living? Will he have a long-range goal to give him satisfaction? And what might be some good uses for your leisure time? Will you let time slip away from you? Or will you use it well?
Shit, wait, hold on. There it is. The entire clip for the intro, can you imagine? Yes, I can. That was the entire short film. It was like, what, a 10-minute short film? About your leisure time. I think there was probably... I've probably played it fully like once or twice in the past 6 months, but not intentionally. Not like, oh, I want to play the whole thing. It's always like, it was usually because I'm like, oh, I'm like scrambling, I'm getting things together. Trying to get it all right. And then just like taking so long that it had to loop, like it went through the whole thing and looped back to the beginning. This was like the first time I made the conscious decision to let it play for the whole duration, as you can imagine. However, it does not coincide with me being perfectly set up and on time because I've not set up my chat yet, so I'm gonna do that now. I've not set up being able to see you on like another screen. I can see on this screen just fine, of course, but yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me just... Should've... never mind. It's fine. Okay. Getting him out of here first. Maybe he'll come back later. There is the button to go look for the thing. There is it. 6 months of Charis Euphranor. That's right. That's me. That's what I was doing. That's what we're doing. It really is mostly a collaborative effort. This is not on schedule. What is this? Today's stream is the realization I made yesterday. It really was yesterday. That, oh shit, it's the 8th tomorrow of December. That would make it 6 months since the 8th of June was when I debuted this year. And so, I should probably do something. I should probably do something about it. And then I thought, what do I do? What do I do for this? And I thought, okay, the obvious thing to do for like, you know, these kind of time milestone things is to review the debut. That's like it's like a tradition that a lot of VTubers have, is they review the debut. It's one of the reasons why I put so much effort into the debut, which is contrary to a lot of advice, actually. Okay, so before I go into this, today's stream is going to be talking about 6 months of Charis Euphranor. That's what it's going to talk about. I'm not going to talk specifically about, I'm not going to explain them. I'm going to do everything except explain the media. I'm going to do everything except explain, you know, the stylistic choices being done, the trailer, the start screen, the aesthetics, what, like the whole lore of Alexandria. I'm going to do everything except explain that stuff. I will rather explain just the broad strokes of it, I think. Is that clear? That seems to be clear. Okay. First thing you said in the stream was shit. Hold on. Well, that's there now. That's just how it's gonna be for the first 6 months. It's rough. It's rough. Everyone's first 6 months are rough. 6 month, and it's our 6 month anniversary. It's, I mean, no, it's not. Even if you wanted to make that joke, none of you were in the debut, and I don't blame you. Like, it's not like, how dare you not be there? It's because you didn't see it. It's because I did a terrible job advertising for it, marketing it. It was not good at all. It was terrible. I didn't. So this stream is just gonna be me talking about it. If you don't care, because it's gonna be some, like, not behind the scenes stuff, but some thought process stuff for me. It's literally, this stream is for me. Like, every stream is for me, but this stream is especially for me. So you know, if you don't care, you can leave. That's okay. I understand. You'll come back like next week. We'll play another funny video game, and then I'll do another reading, which is quite nice, right? I think some people enjoy those. So we'll do that too. But excuse me, that was me moving my chair. I forget that. I think that would pick up. I decided to take the following as I'm not a day oneer. None of you are day oneers, because my day oneers, I remember my day oneers, and because most of them were either. Wait, I shouldn't say that. Most of them. Hold on. Okay, I'll say it. Okay, most of the people who showed up on, like, you know, on day one were like people who, you can say it, come on. All right, okay. So most of the people, or at least like there's a good amount of people that showed up that did not give a shit about VTubers at all, or rather they didn't really watch VTubers. They just wanted to see what the fuck I was doing. they were not, or maybe they did care about VTubers, but they were, you know, the type to watch the bigger ones, or, you know, the more entertaining ones, like and they just they knew me from another universe, and they were like, all right, let's see what he's cooking. I want to see what he's cooking. And, you know, some of them were being supportive, just friends. And the other big portion of people that showed up in my big debut, which is like, I say big portion, there's like, what, 20 people? There's not a lot, but okay. The other bit of people were people from Reddit. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I had to say that. I'm sorry, everyone right now who has to hear the word. But before I debuted, I was thinking about, okay, how do I promote this? Right? How do I tell people? Because the thing is, most of the advice given to people who are newly, like, who are like, oh, I want to get into VTubing, I want to get into streaming, what do I do? I'm like, how do I do a debut stream? And then most of the advice is like, don't do a debut stream. It's fucking stupid. It's not gonna be good, right? And if you don't enjoy it and you quit after a few months, like that effort is wasted. And because you're not starting from like a big corpo launch, or you're not like a big well-known person beforehand, like no one's gonna care. And if no one shows up for the debut, it's sad, right? That's what people said, and that is the advice. I do personally think that's good advice. I think that advice is sound. I think it makes sense. I think if anyone is thinking of starting to VTube, you should just skip. Like, there's no point in doing a debut stream because you know, for these reasons. Plus, the more you're just trying to rack up experience for the first like bit, right? You're just trying to get a feel of it. Not even to be better at it, but also to know if you really like it. With that said, I thought, okay, but that's most other people who want to debut as VTubers. I'm built different, you know? I'm built different. I'm sure I can do a banging debut stream that's not going to be amazing, but it's going to be okay, and it's going to be interesting to look back on. That's what I thought, you know? That's what I thought, because prior to this, and this is terrible too, I've never streamed a day in my life. I've never had any experience streaming, content creating, doing anything prior to the debut on the 8th of June 6 months ago. I had never done anything. And so going into this, I actually had barely any clue, or rather I had zero experience. I actually had zero experience, but that was also what was fun to me. I was like, okay, what if I can hit the ground running better than anyone else I've ever seen? Because everyone else I've ever seen who does a debut it's not anyone I've ever watched who did a debut stream. That wasn't their first thing. That was like that was like after a year or 2 years or 3 years of being really good at this thing and realizing they're really good and really enjoy this thing. Now they get to do it again with a fresh new face, right? That's the whole point of a debut stream. Well, that exposes me as only having watched corpos. Okay, I admit it. Hands up in the air, right? I'm caught. I only really watch corpos because they're the biggest ones, and you know, I'm a normie. All right, that's how it is. But so the idea is you're not them. You are not built different. You know, you should just stream just to stream. You shouldn't get a model. You should just do it with maybe a PNG. You should just try it. You should just go, you know, play around with OBS for like a year to get familiarized with the thing. I installed OBS one day before the fucking debut. I installed the OBS app on my library PC the one day before the debut stream. That was how, like, not confident. I guess it's confident. Yeah, that was how confident I was, I think, going into it. I was confident both that I could be pretty good and that I would enjoy it. And I'm happy to say 6 months in, I'm totally right. I've never been wrong in my life. Never been. I've only made the right decisions. I've only been the most wise decision maker of all of human existence, right? It is what it is. I'm built different. No, I'm not. But it's funny. It's fun to be right. It is very fun to be right. Also, good news, don't need to delete the channel. You never denied Mimikyu being your fave, just never responded to the message. Good. Wouldn't it be funny if, like, you know, there's a timeline, right? There's a timeline where yesterday's stream for House Flipper, yesterday was a House Flipper stream, where I streamed yesterday and I did actually deny Mimikyu. So context here, because I think I'm going to come back to this, but I might not come back to the first House Flipper stream. So I have to remind myself here through my past self, right? Context for this. I did a House Flipper stream yesterday. It was the first House Flipper stream. It was in the whole unemployment week arc. I'm sure you'll remember. But I said, or rather, there was a point, there was discussion floated into Pokemon, and I asked chat to guess my favorite Pokemon. I asked that of people. And I even gave a big hint, because it's like, what, 1,000 of them. I gave a big hint. I thought, okay, it's a ghost type, right? So it narrows it down quite a lot. At least you can, and also, like, my favorite was, you know, super popular. So I thought it wouldn't take that much time to, like, get it. So I was just wondering, like, how many guesses it would take. At some point, I think quite early on, maybe like 2-3 minutes into the guessing. I don't know when was that exactly, when it started, when there was beginning, but it was somewhat early on. Someone got the answer. Someone, I think it was maybe, said guessed Mimikyu. I didn't see that fucking message. I didn't read that. I didn't see it. Sorry, I shouldn't swear so much. Excuse me. I've just sort of been, I think, supercharged the past like few days. So it's like dead ass the first or second guess. Yeah, so it was something like that of the sort. And my infinite wisdom just didn't see the message at all. And then I kept like going through all the other guesses and going like, nope, it's not that one. No, it's not this one either. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, this went on for 30 minutes until someone was like, oh, I already guessed the Mimikyu. And I was like, what? No, you didn't. What? And then it occurred to me, oh shit, someone did say that. Probably. I mean, I would imagine chat wasn't coordinated enough. I think in the future it might be possible, but maybe not. It's an interesting thing to think about, to reflect on. But I thought, okay, chat is not coordinated enough to gaslight me. To gaslight me in such an efficient manner, right? The coordination wouldn't be there simply. So okay, I must have actually fucked up. And they were like, okay, like, I think I said this and you denied it. And then I thought in my head, okay, if I heard the correct answer and denied it and sent everyone else on a wild goose chase that ended nowhere for like 30-40 minutes, I'm going to delete this channel. I'm going to graduate. Like, it's over. So there's a very probable timeline where today's stream is titled slightly different. It's not like, maybe it'll be 6 months of Charis Euphranor, or it's like 6 months of Charis Euphranor, and then brackets like important announcement, right? And then it's like, I'll have to ask our team to draw something really, really, really quickly. So it's like a custom thumbnail instead of just my face, just in the regular model. And then I'd be like, hey guys, it's been a great 6 months. I really enjoyed myself. I'm gonna fuck off now forever. I'm gonna graduate and never return. I cannot live up this social embarrassment. It's over. I can't do this anymore. Like, no more. No more philosopher VTubing. I am now the first and last philosopher VTuber still, because there's never going to be a philosopher VTuber that debuted, I would say, except if it weren't for the fact that like half a week ago there was someone else who also claimed to be a philosopher VTuber. There's also a bunch of VTubers. I've been looking more and more into this, right? There's also a bunch of VTubers who are not, I don't think their character branding is like, oh, that of a philosopher, but they talk about philosophers and they talk about philosophy. There's quite a bit of them. Some of them I tried to follow on Twitter, but some of them, they seem pretty cool. They seem kind of cool. And so if I were to have graduated, then, you know, you would have had other philosophy VTubers to bounce to if you really wanted that. But I don't think I don't think that's the big draw. I really thought it was. It's not. That was one of the mistakes I made thinking about branding earlier on, is I overestimated the value of being the only philosophy VTuber. Because I was in my head, I was like, okay, there's like a bunch of VTubers that are animals, you know, there's like an animal of every kind of the animal kingdom, you know, there's like fish, there's like sea creatures, there's a shark. There's dogs, there's like foxes, there's like squirrels, there's like what's in the zoo, there's a gorilla, there's like giraffes, there's like, just name every zoo animal, right? There's like a VTuber for that. So I knew very early on, I was like, I'm not gonna be an animal. Like, it's just not, it would not be at all conducive to who I am. It would make no sense at all. But then if that's not the thing, then what am I, right? There's a big sort of identity crisis wrestling there, because it's not that I don't know who I am. I'm very confident in what my identity is. I know what it is. I know who I am. I'm not lost in the sauce. You know, I have a very good idea of my subjective self as an individual and self-actualizing myself in the process. The problem is, how do you make that marketable? Oh, I hate that word. Oh, I hate that word. I hate it. But it's one of the things it's one of the pills you have to swallow if you want to be a VTuber that grows somewhat quickly. Is like, you have to think about marketing at some point, which is just unfortunate unless you're really built different, unless you are extraordinarily built different, in which case nothing matters. If you are extraordinarily built different, nothing matters. But I am not extraordinarily built different. I'm only mildly built different, and so some of the things still matter, such as the branding. So unless that was the case, I needed to think of branding, and like, that shit is not that shit is not easy. If you want to both be original and simple, and I mean simple in the sense that, like, you say it and then someone goes, oh, okay, and then like an image conjures in their head and it's roughly the same idea as what you are, right? Because you can be original and you can be original and say, okay, I am this, and it's like a super specific, hyper long thing. And so I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. It's a super long thing if it's original, but then it doesn't quite stick into people's heads immediately. It doesn't just snap in. So I couldn't do a finger snap. Hold on, my fingers are really cold. Sorry. I can't snap my fingers today. I apologize. My fingers are very cold. But hold on, my volume is pretty low actually now that no, it's actually the regular volume. Okay, then I don't know what the fuck's going on then. I lost your train of thought again. What was I talking about? I was talking about branding. I was talking about identity. I was talking about originality. Yes, I was talking about how you need to stick in someone's mind. I wanted to stick in someone's mind very quickly, without it also being like the same thousands of other things that exist. More importantly, I didn't want to be in the shadow of anyone who was like more popular, because that'd be very difficult for me to like differentiate myself, at least on initial level. I think if anyone stays for like 2-3 streams, then it's it. Like they'll know me, and then it will all be fine. But the first 3 streams, no one's watching 3 streams and then moving on. People are watching 10 seconds and moving on. And so it's very, very difficult for me to sort of net that grasp. Favorite animal, the starving philosopher. Came for the philosophy and stayed for the baby girl code. Boy, failure can't talk and do arithmetic at the same. I'm not. I can talk and do arithmetic at the same time. I just need a little practice. I just need a little practice. I could do it. I just need to. It was just because I had to. Doesn't matter. If you were an animal VTuber, what animal would you be? Don't say crow. My first answer is parrot. I don't think it's the best answer though. I think parrot is an animal I would go for, but the animal identity, like that, because I did think about it, right? Over time just evolved into parrot himself. You know, as you can see him here. Is he here? Yeah. He's like swinging out and about. It evolved over time into him. And hold on, let me let him say 2 sentences. Where is it? We need Labyrinth's full body ref so we can turn him into a marketable plushie. I showed my body on like 2 occasions. I think one was the debut stream. I just was like, all right, here's what our team did. It's fantastic. You're never gonna see the bottom half because that's how VTubing is. But she did a phenomenal fucking job, anyways. You know, there it is. The other thing is, the other time I showed it was when someone was like, I want to do fan art. Can you show me your body? And I said, okay. That's what happened. He's not talking though. I don't know what's up with him. You all right, Parrot? I think Parrot's all right. I think he just needs a little bit. Yeah, he probably just needs a little bit of time. There he is. Yeah, and his whole thing is. Okay, do I explain Parrot now? No, I don't. Do I? No. Wait, I shouldn't. I should save that for.
I wonder what messages are getting auto-modded.
I wonder as well. I know YouTube has its own system. It's entirely out of my control. I didn't set shit. You know, I just click go live and this is what this is, right? So, if I could, I would want YouTube to not censor anything, but I don't think that's possible because YouTube is YouTube and YouTube does that. Parrot here exists to read messages. I will explain it no further than that. I want to explain the lore implications of Parrot on the 1st anniversary stream. So that's in another 6 months. You're gonna have to wait the same stretch of time.
I said I want to print out Charis Euphranor's full body ref so I can drop it in water and watch the ink run. If Chairman was able to check auto-modded messages, he wonder what sins would he see.
Yeah, I don't want to know what YouTube's auto mod system would take away.
It was such a G-rated sentence.
Watch the ink run. That's like an album title. All right, shut up, Parrot. No more of that. No more Parrot. So Parrot's really annoying, but in like a good way. When I debuted and I showed Parrot, I think that was so okay. No, I shouldn't talk about that. Okay, the half of this stream is just gonna be, oh, should I talk about this? No, I'll save it for the 1st year anniversary. What about this? No, I think it'd be better if I explain it with the other thing I was saving with the 1st anniversary. So I apologize. I'm not going to do that anymore. I promise from henceforth, no more of that. No more of that. I'm going to be very clear with what I want to say, and I'm going to say the things I want to say. If Chairman graduated, I would actually have to watch a Skits Elf VTuber, closest to actual philosophy I know. Not problem, but okay, here's the thing with philosophy VTubers who both brand themselves as that and also, you know, actually do philosophy content, is they become how do I say this? Their entire thing revolves around philosophy, and what they do is they compare text, they explain text in short TikToks or you know, YouTube shorts. They perhaps discuss certain thinkers in relation to other things. Maybe they will talk about broad concepts as if they were lecturing. I think there is a stark difference between a philosophy professor and a philosopher. I think there's a shark. I think there's a difference. It's as if, okay, maybe that's not a good example, but I always use Gargura as an example. So because she's like the VTuber, the platonic form of a VTuber, right? So I'm gonna use Gargura again, right? It's like Gargura being a shark VTuber, instead of, you know, maybe having a cute little catchphrase that reminds you, oh, I'm like a shark, or you know, like sayings, or having a certain aesthetic style that is reminiscent of underwater ocean, like marine creatures, right? It's like, instead of that, Gargura's channel was solely or mainly shark facts. You know, it was marine biology, shark facts. That's my, not problem, but that's my assessment of most philosophy VTubers. If any of them are watching, I'm calling you out, but I think no one's watching. No one cares. No one wants to know what I think. And when they do, it's because I'm right, so I don't have to worry about it. Most of the philosophy VTubers I've seen so far do that thing where instead of being a shark, they talk about shark facts, they explain shark lore, they talk about the history of sharkology, and they delve into maybe perhaps related concepts in marine biology. That's what most philosopher VTubers do. And I thought, that's not happening. You know, I don't want to do that. It's not, I'm here, or rather, I know what I want to do, and what I want to do is I want to embody a character. Right, that's what I want to do. I want to be a character, and that is, you know, I wouldn't be that if all I did was just talk about Plato. I think, but however, I think the most interesting thing is that if you, for example, are a VTuber, if you're like an astronaut VTuber, right? You, instead of just talking about, you know, astrophysics. Instead of just talking about space exploration, you also you embody the role of the astronaut. You pretend you're going on expeditions, because you can't actually go on space expeditions probably, unless you can, in which case, holy shit, you are definitely built different. But you know, if you are an astronaut VTuber, for example, you would have to at least pretend to be an astronaut, and part of that may involve doing certain things through through your VTubing scenes to construct something that looks like a spaceship, you know, maybe a zero gravity 3D mocap suit, like capturing would be like more immersive. But at the end of it, you are merely pretending to be an astronaut, because you don't have the actual capability of being an astronaut while VTubing. That's just not, like, that is completely unfeasible. It is not at all possible. You are not going to be able to do that, right? But you, as a VTuber, embody the character. You play the character, and you commit to it. You commit to it so much that you want the audience to, at least for a moment, forget that you are VTubing and just see an astronaut, right? They just see the astronaut. But you're an actor. You're never actually in space. It's always safe. You're, as an actor, you never put yourself through difficult stunts, right? Like you're never gonna actually like jump over a 3-story building or whatever. You're going to act as if you were doing that in order to, almost as a vehicle for a grander narrative purpose. That's what you do as an actor, right? And that would be the case if you were a VTuber for anything. If you're a VTuber chef, if you're a VTuber whatever. Okay, well, that's different. If you're a VTuber chef, you can actually cook. That's actually kind of feasible to cook on stream. But like that is one of the positive examples. But I think for most examples, or for some examples I wanted to raise, if I embody a certain character, I'm most likely not able to do the actual thing that I embody. Like if I am like a star, a cosmic entity whose job is to realign stars around, you know, I'm not going to be able to actually do it, but I want to be able to act as if I'm doing it, because that delivers into the immersion. There's a very interesting thing, however, when I was thinking about this with being a philosophy VTuber, because there's two things going on. There's many things going on, but here I conceptualize it as two things going on. The first thing is, I don't have to pretend like I'm doing philosophy. I can actually do philosophy. And I don't mean speaking of philosophy. I don't mean just merely reading philosophy. I don't mean discussing and comparing, maybe comparing and discussing is a bit more into the doing side, but I don't mean just, you know, like looking at it. I mean be engaging in it and, you know, creating thoughts and points of discussion that are meaningful and contributive to the overall grander intellectual discussion, right? Like that is something that can actually be done while you're VTubing. And adding on to the fact that, and so beneath that layer is an even more interesting second layer for me, where not only can I, you know, do philosophy as a VTuber, I can do VTuber philosophy. And that's like a weird, that sounds like a crank statement someone gives to like a board of executives to say, here's this idea, it's gonna work, put your money in, right? I promise that's not what that is. I promise that's not what that is. What I do mean by that is there is such an interesting space in the VTubing sphere to explore this philosophy of identity, this sort of an existential subjective self that I myself am really interested in, that gets mixed up in this not facade, but this role, this character, this kayfabe is what a lot of people like to say. They draw the analogy to wrestling. I think it's quite a good analogy. So, you know, this kayfabe, this whole this thing, whatever this is, whatever this new, never before seen way of identity, of engaging in identity. Well, it's not never before seen in the sense that this is basically just this is just puppetry. I have a stick. This is just Elmo. This is just Kermit the Frog. I'm basically just Kermit the Frog. Excuse me. I'm basically just an advanced version. I'm just doing, if Jim Henson were born today, this is what he would be doing. All right, like this is if Jim Henson were born today, this is what he would be doing. And he'd be fucking phenomenal with it. That's what he would be doing. So it's not like it's never before seen in the aspect of like it is completely novel. But you know, if you want to be a little semantic and a little annoying, which is what I like to do because I'm a philosophy major. If I want to be a little annoying, I can say, well, you know, no original concepts exist. You know, it's all they're all the same things under the sun. You know, like we like, if it looks unique, it's just packaged different, but it's based on something that already exists, right? Nothing has ever been new. Everything is the derivation of of something that came before. If I wanted to be annoying, I would say that. Do I feel particularly annoying today? A little bit, but less I want to annoy, but more I want to express myself unfiltered in a way that would probably end up annoying, but it's my channel, I do what I want. So, all this to say, being a philosophy VTuber, I found was not just, I think, a feasible way to distinguish myself from other people, but also just something I wanted to do myself. This is the thing. This is the thing to do. The problem is, I am not very well read. The problem with this was that I just don't know that much. That if I were to market myself as a philosophy VTuber and someone asked me for 10 philosophy facts, I would be able to give like 3, maybe 4. And so that's where I think the other half kind of emerged, being the Librarian of Alexandria, which is that I'm explaining the lore. No, I'm explaining the lore. I was gonna save this for first year, but roughly speaking, just quickly, I'll explain it in further detail for first year. But now I'm gonna just roughly say, the second half comes in of like this is also going to be reading. There's going to be a non-negligible portion of the live streams dedicated to me just reading shit, because not because I enjoy reading, but because there's nothing better to do with an opportunity like this than to read. This parallels the lore. Go figure. You have 6 months to figure it out before I give you the answer. Okay, this parallels the lore. The lore parallels my behind the scenes like sort of like conceptualization of this character. All right, you have 6 months to figure out what that means exactly. Timer starts now, and in 6 months I'm going to tell you what it means. But sorry, I lost. Okay, what do you guys say? I just completely blanked out and started talking. Sorry, I should should make it a habit to read while I do that, but it's difficult to multitask for me. think you being a philosopher and also reading well-renowned philosophy, also being playing silly little video games is a very good duality and definitely ideal in the VTuber space. I do thank you for saying that, because that does affirm things I suspect as well. I do think that this is like, I'm not confident that maybe like in like 6 months I'll be like super popular, but I think I'm somewhat confident that in 6 months this concept is going to work just fine. This concept is going to work just fine. I'm not going to go through a rut or a crisis of like, I've done it all, what do I do now? You know, like, I don't think that this will, I don't think I'll ever have to deal with that in the near, at least the next 3 years, 2-3 years. And then after that, maybe I'm gonna start going like, what else is there? That won't be true actually, because there's so much. I'm never gonna be able to read everything. Philosophers don't read philosophy. Like, well, they don't read all of it. Like, not a single librarian of Alexandria do I know has read from front to back of philosophy, an entire book of like in philosophy. Like, they've not. No one has read an entire book front to back. They've read chapters and they've read like portions, and like the important bits that are highlighted, and then continue to work on it. So there's never gonna be a shortage of that. I'm never gonna have to worry about that. I might have to worry about playing funny video games, silly little video games, with the way the industry is going. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. I think if there's a problem with good video games coming out over time, then it wouldn't just be me. It wouldn't just be my problem. It'd be fucking everyone's problem. So it'll all work out, is what I'm trying to say. This is performance art. You guys don't understand. This is a living painting that you're seeing. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, they're all dead. I remain. Oh. Oh. Fucking beautiful. I love that quote. I love that quote. Plato, Bach, Edison, and Van Gogh, my favorite philosopher VTubers. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There's a few of them floating around, like Bach and Edison. I do wonder when I will branch into other intellectual traditions, but I don't think I'll ever have to. I don't think I ever will. I'm not good at this. I'm definitely worse at all the other things. Oh yeah, but someone asked earlier, full librarians, full body ref, so we can turn them into a marketable plushie. I disagree with the second part. I think the moment I turn into a, hold on, would you see this? You don't see this, good. The moment I turn into a marketable plushie is when you should leave. You should go out. The moment I ask, hold on, I'll talk about that later. I can show you this first though. This is the full works. There we go. That's it. So I think like you're used to seeing the first half, but which is kind of this color scheme, but I think there's a lot of yellow behind here. Like, this is the cape. This is the kind of rest of them. These are the braces, right? The little, I don't know what any of these are, man. I didn't draw this. I contributed nothing other than in fact, that's the problem. In fact, one of the problems with with this was our team going like, what do you want? Tell me what you want. I'm like, I don't know what I want. I don't know anything. And like, so that was a bit difficult. I was definitely not a good client. I was not a good client at all. When you commission someone to do something, you should be very specific with the vision you have in mind. So you're like, the artist you're commissioning doesn't have to worry about you know, having to figure out what the fuck you want, because they're doing work for you. But yeah, this is the full body reference. You can find it in my debut stream as well. I showed it in my debut stream. I showed it in one other stream. I forget what. It was a chatting stream as well, I think. Someone asked me to, and I said, okay, sure, here you go. So our team also tells me that I shouldn't be wearing the cape all the time. It's quite like, because it's quite a formal thing. What's the button for that? This? Yeah, these are my toggles. Okay. So this is me like derobed. This is me derobed. This is the more like, this is what our team was like, you should be wearing. This is most of your streams, you should be looking like this. And I thought, oh shit, I didn't know that. I asked our team for toggles and I didn't use most of them. Terrible, I know. This is like the sort of the robe that comes on, and this is the thing that I don't know the word for, but it's like the thing on the shoulder thing. The shoulder pad, I don't know. What does this do? Oh, this removes my glasses. I have like a glasses toggle. I might as well just show all the toggles now. Might as well just do that. Here, where is it? There it is. This is the toggle for my face where you don't see my glasses anymore. I've been told to do it more. The problem is I can't read when I have my glasses off, so it does make things a little difficult. Like I have to really just if I'm doing it without glasses. So I've been told it's nice, and I'm sure it is because our team's work is incredible. However, either I forget to do it, or I think to myself, okay, there's no, like, I can't, I can't do it. Okay. Also the stream is at like 720p because I'm incapable of streaming at 1080. That's just not going to happen. So another problem for a future me. What are these? Oh, this is my expression toggle. I don't toggle this usually because it's usually expressed inside rather than out. This anxiety. This one is a book. I have a book here for parrot tricks. You see it? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. A nice little book here. It says parrot tricks. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know who Hartman Eberhard is. I should have given. That's not part of. That's like probably the only detail that is not part of the lore. That's like a red herring detail. Like I didn't plan that. That's like probably the only thing. Everything else, every other detail I've somewhat thought about. And this is my last toggle. This is the one where I'm like I hit the thinking pose. That's the one. Okay. Okay. That's everything. That's everything. You want to see it again? You don't have to. Is this where I was? I think this is probably where I was, roughly. This is roughly where I was, I think. Maybe my chest was a little lower. I think it's fine. You see it. I pretend I do not see. You see it. You must see it. Your birthmarks are so much easier to see up close. Our team did such a good job with all details. Model's pretty. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, like, I'm going to be honest. If I had streamed, if I started streaming without a model and I was just it was either a PNG or just like no face at all, I would be at 0 concurrence 6 months in. I genuinely believe. I think the quality of streams personally wouldn't be that far, but the model was very, very necessary. This entire endeavor is carried on the back of our team's back. Like, it's not, I didn't do any of this. Wouldn't have clicked without the model. Yeah, and I don't blame you at all. Like, because there's such a big risk. Like, I don't mean like risk as in like, oh, you're gonna die, but like you don't know what you're clicking on if there's no visual reference, and that's like why I was thinking if not to do this, I would have I was reading something and I just, like, while I'm reading it, I'm like saying the word. I would have had to stream with face cam on. It's probably what I would do if I wanted to stream. Because if I streamed with no camera, no visual at all, like not even a JPEG, which would still not be very good. I think a JPEG is just not there. It helps certainly, but it's just not. There's a big difference. People wouldn't click. I wouldn't click. I wouldn't take the chance on some person. If I didn't see any visual reference for who they are, if it's just like, you know, a screen. And then them breathing into the mic with like the Bandicam on top. Like I wouldn't take a chance on someone like that if I were a viewer, if I were just surfing YouTube randomly. And because of that, I thought, okay, it's all or nothing. I know the advice is, oh, you should just start doing this without like, you know, going through all the processes of getting a model or whatever, I said, screw that. I know I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna be pretty okay, and I know it's gonna be infinitely better, or rather, I'm gonna actually have a chance with the model. And so our team was the person I commissioned. Chairman is the thinker. I visited the thinker statue last year. It was in France, right? I believe it was in France. I visited the thinker statue. It was quite, it was in Paris, right? Paris. It was where the statue is right now, I think. I visited it. It was one of the statues of all time. I don't know why every philosophy department likes to use that statue as like the thumbnail for, like, you know, their philosophy department. I personally think the Greek statues of the thinkers would have been a more appropriate pick, but that's just me. I just like the aesthetics of the Greek statues. I'm a big fan of them. By the way, full body ref includes backside. Some people here might be too interested in that without the cape. I I can't provide you that. I think our team might have that. I don't have that. I probably might have it somewhere because our team might have sent it to me, but I don't know. Our team's busy though, so I'm not gonna bother our team for something very minor. I'm bothering her enough, goodness knows. Philosophy fact is that cogito ergo sum was originally je pense donc je suis, because René Descartes was unfortunately French. Oh, interesting. Did he write it in French first? Interesting. That makes sense. Reading. Bro, I haven't seen the full body in so long. I was like, what are those? You have legs. I do. I have legs. My legs are kind of long. You went to France, Mike Jones. It was not like, it was definitely the way people described it, where it's okay, it's decent. And then like the people serve you the food and they just, and if you don't look French, it's not like, and let me tell, this is okay. That's fine. Yeah, I can tell you that I don't look French. I do not pass the French meter at all. I don't even think it's close. And so I show up to like a restaurant in Paris and I order something in like, because I don't speak French either, in like English, they go, you know, like, you know, they do that. And then the food is like decent, but then it's also quite pricey. So is it worth it? I don't know. And they hate me. They hated me the entire way, the entire visit. It's true. If you do not look French and you do not pass as French and you go to France, at least when you go to Paris, right? You can expect to not be treated very well. Got the latex boots. I don't know if it's latex, but yeah. I can only commission my friends because they know what the fuck is in my head at any given moment. Exactly. Yes. I'm not gonna say any more than that. Never mind. Yes. Yes. So I'm like reading older messages because it's like, it's been a great thing that I haven't been able to catch up. I'm a very slow reader and I haven't been able to catch up on everything. I thought the crow you called the parrot was named Parrot. No, it's Parrot. The name is Parrot, like with capital P-A-R-R-O-T, Parrot. That's the name of the bird on my shoulder. And then the reason why that's his name, is because all he does is read things out loud. He does not have an ounce of original thought on his own. All he does is parrot other things. And I've been able to sort of put that to good use by having him read chat messages for me. Came from the VTuber subreddit, I wouldn't even know. Dude, okay. When I was thinking about like the subreddit. Wait, leg reveal when? I just did a leg reveal. I just did it. You joined the stream late, Mr. Sexy Man. I'll show you again. This is like, these are the legs. This is like the lower half. You're not used to seeing this, so I'm just gonna stay here for a while. Just appeared my recommendation 4 months ago and I stayed. Thank you for staying. Thank you for staying. It's very all right. Okay, I'm going back. You lot cannot control yourselves. All right. Okay, I'm going back. Okay, we're going back here. We're going back here. Okay. Okay, we're not staying there for long. Came for the VTuber subreddit. Dude, the VTuber subreddit isn't like, it's not in shambles per se, but like I'm still in it because I need to know. I need to know what's going on. But at the same time, it's not good. It's very much just, I'm sorry to say this. No, I'm not. Fuck you. No, fuck you. I'm not sorry to say anything. No, like the VTuber subreddit is really mostly just like male gazy self-promotion. And I do mean male gazy, right? Like it's like, you know, interaction bait. Like it's all, that's most of everything. And anything that's not that is like half of it, or like 80% of it is stuff I'm not personally that interested in. But because it's sort of a catch-all subreddit, and this is where NDs promote themselves, you kind of have to be here. I will say that when I was thinking about like promotion before debut, and I was thinking about like, you know, how I would go about talking about myself online, I sort of tried to follow in the footsteps of Randonuring, the orc office worker VTuber, which, you know, in totally unrelated news, he reminded me of he reminds me of a certain other VTuber I used to watch that unfortunately graduated a while ago. So he fills that hole in my heart. But I sort of, I looked through his like his old posts, and I tried to sort of, I learned from it. I tried to learn from it is what I did. Because I think, honestly, out of all the male VTubers I've ever seen, because I do think it's a weird thing. I've never talked about it yet. I think I might in the future, but I want to actually, I think there's a really interesting discussion about how there's a weird inverse patriarchy going on, and I don't mean matriarchy, but it's a weird patriarchy going on, where male VTubers play on a different field than female VTubers. In fact, when I say the word VTuber, most people, at least me, right? Like most, okay, no, how do I say this? In the common discussion and lexicon, when you talk about VTubers, you say, okay, this is either a VTuber, or if you want to specify, oh, this is a male VTuber. Why is it that? Why do you have to specify when it's a male VTuber? Why don't you really specify if it's a female VTuber? You don't have, no one ever says female VTuber. That no one's ever said those words. No one's ever said those words. Who's actually, like, you know, someone who watches VTubers, right? No one says female VTuber. They just say VTuber. But they say male VTuber. Why is that? And there's a really interesting, I think, patriarchal explanation for this weird, almost glass ceiling. I don't want to say that's what it is, because I'm appropriating feminist terminology. That's not what I don't want to do that. But I do think there's a really, really interesting parallel that's going on in the VTuber sphere. That is, I think at its core, not motivated by opposite things, but actually motivated by the same things, in the sense that, you know, there's a sort of objectification of the VTuber that must specifically appeal to the male gaze for like mass appeal, for really, really large mass appeal. I think, at least in the Western sphere, and I think recently in the Western sphere, the only thing that's really shattered that were the Nijisanji EN boys. I think they were the only ones who really shattered that expectation. But in doing so, I think they also appealed mostly to non-straight men. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Anyways, it's a whole thing. I don't have the receipts to back what I'm saying up. These are all just kind of observations I've made, and because of that, you know, I'm not going to try to stand my ground and make an argument, make a strong point in this argument. But I do think there's something to talk about there that's very interesting. That aside, Hate to break it to you, Charis, but your VTuber model appeals to the male gaze. Source, I'm... I had this thing where I was like, hold on, let me read the other messages and I'll talk about it. I'm definitely gazing at the VTuber model. Okay, all right, okay. VTuber model appeals to the gaze. Okay. VTuber started out with Kizuna Eyes. That's why they were initially thought of as anime girls. Yeah. That's true, and she was iconic. And I think the current biggest VTuber is still by far Gargura of Hololive, and Hololive is one of the biggest like corpos. Because when you think, a lot of people when you think VTuber, you synonymously associated with Hololive. You can't not associate it with Hololive. Recently, other corpos have risen up as well, but you know, they're like still on top. I would imagine in the public sphere, but like maybe the market's been so diverse and so evolved that that's no longer a fair like assessment of what's going on in the world. But anyways, it's the male and female dominated fields thing. They automatically get to big. Okay, gazing at the model aside, I did think about when I started this channel, my viewership gender ratio was something I thought about. I imagined I imagined if I didn't have a VTuber model at all, it would just be 0. So there's no like there's no male or female distinction. Like it's straight and like male, female, other, that just, it's all gonna be 0% because there's just not gonna be a viewer. No, there's probably gonna be like maybe like 5-10 of viewers, but they're not consistent viewers. They're like, you know, they'll occasionally click on a VOD and watch a little bit, and those are the people that that have a vested personal interest in the development of Charis Euphranor, despite not being very intimately involved in the field of male VTubers. But my biggest flex is that I was at the Holly and Myth Girls debuts. I was too. No one believed. I believed. All the VTuber connoisseurs that I was like acquainted with that were like, oh no, they're debuting like an English generation, that's cringe, I don't want to see that. You know, like there's all that, and their debuts weren't too good either. They were like okay, but I watched it and I was like, I believe this is the next big thing. This is going to happen. They're going to see an unparalleled amount of success. I'm a big fan already. I was watching Amelia Watson since day one. The others as well from Myth, but my favorite was by far Amelia. And I believed, I knew, and I kept like a month, like a whole month into their debut. Every day I would just be sending clips to all of my friends going like, we're cooking now, all right? This is it. This is the new era. This is a new era now. Because at the time there was like a negligible amount of people that were like, this is never gonna work, you know, it's cringe when English speakers do it, this is a Japanese only thing, you know. There's like a negligible portion of people that say that, and I'm glad they're very wrong. At least numerically. I was already into Hollow, so at the point that there's like no way these guys will blow up. Yeah, I thought so as well. I thought so as well. But more than that, I just thought like they're great. Like I really enjoy watching them. I can't wait to see more of this. I got into Hollow in 2010 because of the clip of Miko shooting people in GTA 5 going, stay home. Yes, that's one of my first clips as well. Stay Home was one of my first clips. And then it was Fubuki's Astronomia. And then what was it? And then it was Miko burning her house down in Minecraft with like a lava bucket. And then it was that other GTA clip that I'm sure everyone knows what I'm referencing. Yeah. Didn't stay for your model voice today because you're silly and easy to bully. Well, I'm not. That's difficult because I'm neither of those things. I'm very serious, and I'm not easy to bully at all because I stand my ground and I make my points clear. All right, so that strikes me as untrue. That's what it is. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yes, 6 months of Charis Euphranor. 6 months of Charis Euphranor. I was worried about the gender ratios of my viewership because I knew that, or rather, one of the things I was wrestling in my head was, okay, I'm going to be given, I'm going to be given form, and my form is presented as such. This is a very flattering depiction of my existence, courtesy of our team. And I thought, okay, this is it, right? This is how people are going to perceive me for a very long time, because there's no way I'm asking our team to put in more effort to do something else. This is finalized. There's no going back. I doubt there's gonna be a 2.0. Like, you're not gonna see a 2.0 model debut stream or whatever. You're not gonna see like maybe you'll see a new outfit if this works out really well. If this works out really well, you might see a new outfit, but like, it's gonna be this is going to stay for the rest of my existence. And I thought to myself, if that's the case, and if there's a sort of immediate turn off for people watching who are generally like people who are averse, there's a portion of people that are averse to male VTubers. Should I appeal heavily into the people who are into male VTubers instead? And I don't want to throw any disses. I think they're doing their own thing. I think it's interesting, but I do think that a portion of Niji EN is that a portion of Niji, the Niji boys and the EN Niji boys appeal to the demographic that is not too far off from the room, the house. I was playing House Flipper yesterday. There was a room there that I had to construct. I had to build a wall in this house to separate two separate rooms, because there was a little girl that had kind of grown up and wanted her own room, like the teenage girl. I think there is a good amount of overlap between that teenage girl and people who watch Niji and VTubers. Right? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's everyone. I'm saying there's like a good amount of overlap. And I thought, do I appeal to this? In my head, I thought, do I want to consciously do that? And I said no, because I think that would be the easy way out if all I cared about was numbers. If all I cared about was numbers, then I'll just, for lack of a better term, like I would actually try to actively appeal to a certain demographic. But that was not what I wanted. I don't think that would have been very interesting. Hello, Odara. Are you late for the live? Only a little. We're like an hour in, but I can catch you up on everything so far. I talked about this is 6 months of Charis Euphranor. I talked briefly about how in yesterday's stream I almost wanted to die, and in a not so distant world, parallel universe, this would be the graduation announcement stream. I showed off my full body reference before. I don't know if you've seen it, because I've shown it in other times, a few times prior. I showed off the rest of the model that our team made. I can show you again. I talked about debuting. I talked about Parrot a little. I talked about how I was really anxious about streaming, and how I didn't even finish the point yet, but I talked about how I had no experience content creating prior to my debut 6 months ago. So this is just 6 months of Charis Euphranor. This is 6 months of like my foray into this completely. I've never done that prior to, and getting it, and then briefly talked about Hololive, getting into Hololive. I read Tara gave me a reference, put a funny Germa clip reference in the chat, which I was very delighted by, because I love that clip. Michelangelo is dead, I remain. I love that clip. That's it. So it's you're late. You're a little late, but it's okay, because I just caught you up on everything. Do teenagers watch VTubers? Probably. Scary thought. It is terrifying. Today is the strip. That's not what I that's not what I that's not what I was doing. That's not what I was doing. I think it's on some early lives. Yeah, yes. Azara, I think you might have seen, yeah. It's not even very okay, this is what I did. This is what I did. Hold on. There you go. That's what I did. That's what I did just now. And then I did this. Here's what I did. Right. And then I did that. And then I did this. That's what I did. That's everything I did. That's all I did. Oh, okay. I'm This is our team's fault. This is our team's fault. All right, okay. No more. That's it. Okay. Okay, we're done. We're stop. Save it for February. Save for February. All right, okay. IDK, you could easily do BFE because you have a nice voice, but I think being the streamer that you want to see is really important. Here's my thing with this, because I don't necessarily, because I know, I am aware of who I am. I'm aware of the things. I'm not going to pretend like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. You are right in that if I wanted to, if I really wanted to, especially with this fantastically well-drawn VTuber model, I could try to do like, I could appeal to the audience that would want like BFE stuff. I could easily do that, but it's not particularly because, oh, I have an attractive voice or persona, etc. That's all subjective anyways, right? And I personally think like I'm all right. Like it's fine. I don't think that's my strong suit, at least I would hope not. I would hope my other faculties are stronger, but regardless, right? I do agree though, in the sense that it could be easily done, but it's not because, you know, I would be particularly good at it. I think I could be pretty good because if I put effort into learning to do it, I think I could do it pretty well. It's because it's really easy to take advantage of people who are lonely. It's very, very easy to do that. I know that, okay, like I know this whole stream has been very lighthearted so far, and I'm happy, you know, just to clown around. I think that's fine. But this is maybe something that I think bears discussion. I think it's quite interesting, and I also think it's a little sad, but bear with me, okay? You know, gives a single $1. No. We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. Man's really walking around with okay, I'm not I was born this way. I was given form, and this is the form I was given. I had some choice in the matter, but I didn't know, because our team was like, hey, is this good? And then, you know, our team in her infinite like Fujoshi wisdom was like, here's what the model looks like. And I thought, yeah, it's good, because I didn't know, like I knew what it looked like, but also was like, okay, I don't know, I don't want to say like it's, because I do think it's good. I don't know. I don't want to like, I think it is good. I just don't know how to feel about it. It's more just, okay, I have to work with it. I'll have to work with this now. I think it'll work out. But you know, this is what you get for commissioning your Fujo friend to draw a VTuber model for you. Our team's gonna kill me. Our team's gonna kill me when she hears me say that. But our team is definitely gonna kill me when she hears me say this. But so I knew what I was walking into. I knew what this was. What's BFE? It's boyfriend experience. And it's a big thing. It's like a big thing in VTubing, and also just in like content creation in general. But I think VTubing has a special pull on that. Because of there's many factors: the perceived anonymity, but also or pseudonymity, but also the anime, like anime girl, anime guy aesthetic is usually quite pleasing for a certain crowd of people. And I think in this contemporary day and age of the internet and of globalized late capitalist society, and on the internet of the society specifically, there is a good portion of people that are kind of lonely and would buy into content that is catered for this. It's catered for the boyfriend experience, the girlfriend experience stuff. Like, it's why? Because people are lonely. People are lonely, and they crave this thing. They're pulled by it because, you know, it's much easier to find a similar sort of enjoyment online for this type of thing than in real life. Because in real life you have to talk to real people. You have to engage with real members of society, other people who are not the fantastical imaginations that you would have. They don't look like anime characters. They have flaws, both, like, you know, not everyone's beautiful. Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to say, but that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other discussion. But, like, you know, some people are ugly. I would know. I wake up every day and I look. I would know. Not like, some people are just not very good looking. That's just what it is. But more importantly than that, it's also like, people are flawed in their personality. People are not nice all the time. People people can be cruel. People can be motivated to do bad things. People are mean. They're conditioned by their surroundings. They grow up perhaps in environments that enable them to be kind of shitty, right? And all of that goes away when you just immerse yourself in this escapism online, especially with VTubers. And this is very, very easy to take advantage of. I don't say this as like, oh wow, look, I'm like, you know, I could totally do it if I wanted to. That's not what I'm saying. That's not necessarily. I'm not saying I could totally do it if I wanted to. I'm saying anyone could do it if they really wanted to. I think there's a skill to it. There's a technique. But I think anyone could try to can profit off of the boyfriend experience, girlfriend experience, like, type of content creation. Anyone can do it. I could probably make a crash course on this, and people could, like, like, I'm just like, there, and like, you, or not me, like, anyone can make a crash course of this and then just go through it, and you could make a ton of money. Like, you could, okay, maybe not a ton, but you could, like, you just have to figure out which of the aspects to take, which boxes to check, what things to do, and how to do them. You can take advantage of this for sure if you wanted to, but that was not what I wanted to do. One of the things I wanted to do was the opposite, actually. I wanted not only to not participate in this, but I actually wanted to fight. I wanted to be an interesting example for doing the opposite of what this is. And I don't know what that is exactly, but that is one of the goals I have. 6 months in, I've talked about it several times, but I think it bears repeating. If you see me go down the route of what you suspect to be BFE, GFE, whatever, like the parasocial experience, if it seems as though the parasocial experience is very strong, for whatever reason, and it might just be unintentional. I could just be looking at other VTubers and just doing what they do because I'm taking notes. I'm still learning, right? And if that happens to be the case, and I'm not aware of it, I've changed. Leave forever. Abandon, pack your bags, say, Charis Euphranor, you're not the same anymore. I don't like this direction. It's not good. I'm going to leave now. You know, you should do that. Gives me a good wake-up call. Do that. You know, I think it's very necessary. Maybe I'm not in the demographic of VTuber enjoyers, but that's not something I usually watch. Interesting. But yeah, there's a big demographic. That's another thing that's one of the few things I haven't figured out yet. Why are some of you, not only just you in chat, but some of you watching live, and some of you and who are lurking, or some of you that are watching the VOD, why are some of you not VTuber fans either? I was under the assumption that anyone who would watch an ND VTuber is only doing so because they have some experience or like exposure to like big corporate VTubing, because that's like usually what hits your recommended first. But not only like did you see this show up in your feed, but you clicked on and you were like, I'm gonna watch this, more of this now. Why? That confuses me. I don't understand why. There's a group, there's like multiple people that's been on the stream and asked me, hey, how do you make that your move? How do you move the mouth like that while you're talking? I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Are you asking me how face tracking works for VTubing? Like, and you're asking that probably because you've never seen a VTuber. What? And you know, I've had to explain the concept of a VTuber like twice, I think, in the past 6 months to someone who wanted to earnestly know. That's fascinating to me. I don't think I ever expected that, and I still don't know why. You're preaching to the choir because it says so much money in super chats to Vox. How come I would know? Dude. Hey, maybe actually, I was gonna say I don't want to start necessary drama, but maybe I will, because that'll maybe rouse my viewership. But like, no hate, so I'm not gonna do it now. But basically, I think when I watched Vox's debut, I watched Vox's first few streams as well, but I felt kind of alienated from his style of content creation. It was really, really early on, because I just thought, like, he's leaning a bit too heavily into the social experience that, you know, like I'm sitting there watching him and I just kind of feel like he's my boyfriend. I'm like, wait, hold on, I'm not supposed to feel that. That's not I don't know if I like that. But I thought it was just like, I thought he was really good at it. I have nothing but respect. But I was like, I don't know if this is for me specifically. I don't know if I want this specifically. Everybody is pan when Charis starts the stream. You can be pan off stream too. There's nothing stopping you from being pan off stream. I really watch VTubers because the ones I've seen either try too hard to be sexy or baby-like to the point I cringe. Yeah, and it's like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna throw hate. I'm gonna throw hate and shade. Yeah, like it's been 6 months. I can do that. Like, so many VTubers that do that, they try way too hard to be like sexy or baby-like. It's like, you don't go to McDonald's and order like that. Like, you don't, you know what I mean? You don't go to the store and ask where the toilet paper is. You don't do that with that voice. You know, you don't talk to the cashier like that. You don't talk to your platonic friends like that. And if you do, it's weird. I think it's kind of weird. I will say, however, that it's funny to me, but I actually think there's some VTubers that have a voice that I initially thought was, I was like, there's no way this person talks like this naturally. But a notable example I would give for like, I'm eating my own words was actually Leader, Regis Altair from Gen 1 Hollow Stars, who, when I first heard his like debut, I was like, this isn't how he actually talks, right? Like, I'm like, this is way too like, his voice is way too like, you know. I was like, this isn't real. This isn't how he actually talks. Maybe I'll check him out in like a month or 2 months when he kind of reverts back to his I thought at the time, right? I was like, I'll wait till he goes back to his regular voice. Maybe I'll check him out again. It's like, it's been what, 2 years? This is just how he talks, and I'm so sorry that I initially thought like, oh, he's doing like a you know, a VTuber voice. No, this is just how he actually talks. And I've come to enjoy Leader as well. I do really like Altair. So I don't know, I was just that's one of the few instances where I'm like, where I was wrong when I thought, okay, this person is putting on a voice when, oh, actually no, this is just how this person talks. Chairman GF experience would I think our team would be ashamed. Okay, actually, I don't know. Actually, I think our team would respect the hustle, but I don't know. I would not want to. It's just not, I don't think it's interesting, because I just don't think it's interesting. I think it's too straightforward. It's too easy. The playbook has been written. I know how to do all, like, none of this is challenging and interesting intellectually. It's all like, okay, play by the books, pretend like you know this person, socialize as if they were your close friends, occasionally say lewd things, right? You know, and then like gradually slip into monetization. Always tie your call to actions with the positive emotions that you know you can instill, or not positive, but the emotions, the strong emotions you instill in your audience. So when they're like enamored by you, that's the time when you go, hey, and then if you buy membership, there's membership streams where I do more of this, you know, like that. I know the playbook. I know how it goes because I've seen so much of it. I don't particularly think it's very interesting, which is why if you ever see me talk about, hey, if you get membership, you like, if you ever see me promoting anything that's monetization, kill me. Okay, don't do that, but don't walk away. Okay, if you see that, you must walk away, because you know, I don't, why? Because someone has killed me. Someone has killed me and replaced me with a clone of myself. It's an AI generated clone, probably, that's like, oh yeah, Charis Euphranor. Imagine if we could harvest the the monetary potential of this VTuber. Like, no. That's not the point. That was never the point, and it would never be the point. Watch out, he might sell Redding's wings as merch. I couldn't believe it when I saw that was like, was it Rusha that first did it? I'm sure there's other VTubers that have done it, but when I saw Rusha do it, I was like, holy shit. Whoa. This is how far it's going. That's insane to me. I was impressed, really, more than anything. I was like, this is like, it's like I was opened up to a new view of the world. I was like, oh, okay, this is what's going on, and it's this bad, or like it's this, you know, it's this intense, this situation. Don't watch VTubers because I don't use Twitch. That's good. I mean, it's usually a waste of time. I would say this is no exception. but I nonetheless am glad you're here. Pretty sure you only came into my recommended because I watch VTubers. Right. You personally, you're the first one who I found interesting. You sell your channel as a philosophy channel, no gameplay or some fool. Dumb shit. Interesting. So I think there is some like there is some like branding marketing part of being a philosophy VTuber that did work. I think I do apologize if it seems like there's too little. You know, like I'm just reading something once a week, and my reading, it's just reading. I'm not actually thinking or discussing too much, but I must concede it's because I'm not very familiar. I don't want to do mediocre, subpar discussions. I'm either going to contribute something meaningful, or I'm not going to contribute anything in that department, at least at all. And I think the most meaningful contribution I can make to something without being intellectually acquainted with it is to just read it. Let it speak for itself. And that's what I've decided to do. It also fits with the theming of the librarian VTuber, right? I hope it does. Honestly, I only started watching because there's a Half-Life 2 YouTuber that streams occasionally, then you streamed Half-Life 2. Oh yeah, you are from the I do remember you were a first timer in the Half-Life 2 stream. I'm glad you I'm surprised you stayed around. I really thought that the people who showed up for Half-Life 2 were not at all going to be the same people that showed up for my other content. I just wanted to stream Half-Life 2 for a bit. I'm sorry I haven't streamed it enough. I'm going to go back to it next week, I think. I'm just going to go back to the some of the older games for the following week, I think. But yeah, there's gonna be more Half-Life 2. Gentlemen throwing hate and maledicence. Even as someone in a long-term community relationship was into BFE, I think media consumption for me is very much an escapism because Vox is good. It's easy to get immersed. Vox is good. So like, I want to say that Vox is really good. He is so insanely good at selling it. Like it's like Vox Akuma was grown in a lab to be like the parallel to Gargura. That's what it felt like. Maybe not Gargura, but like, you know, the male, what's the male VTuber EN answer like to the usually overwhelmingly higher success that female VTubers have? And then the answer was like Vox Akuma. That's what it felt like. He was grown in a lab to be that. Leader and Ruse are two people I've heard speak and then realize, no, that's just how they talk. Yeah, that's just how they are, and it's so strange to me. Because I really thought they were putting on voices. No, this is just how they are. Jammer doesn't think gender reversal is interesting. Gender reversal can be interesting. It has the capacity to be interesting, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just, oh, okay, we're just swapping from one set of like social gender norms to the other set. Okay, whatever. I've seen them. I know how they work. I know how I've seen the genders. I've seen the male, I've seen the female, I've seen the other. They are usually quite split in half for my channel, I think. Although recently, because I've been on a bit of a hiatus for I've been on a break for a bit, I don't see my demographic yet. I'm hoping to stream more for the next few days, mainly actually because I want to see my demographic again. I want to see what the distribution is between the male, female, and the other. I want to know. I'm very curious. Because pretty much all of the content creators I follow personally have way more male than female, and I don't know. I think that makes sense because I'm a male. So like, I could imagine that like there are certain aspects that might appeal to me because of that. is gender constructed. One is not born a woman, but rather one is, you know, one is not born a woman. Maybe, I don't know. We read a little bit of Simone de Beauvoir. We did. So that's up there. That's up in the air. I can't claim to be an expert on it. I have no goddamn clue. No goddamn clue. All I do is read. You ever see me sell out? I've been body snatched. Exactly. Russia doing that in the middle of divorce proceedings IRL is so insanely funny. It is a sight. It is definitely the most, like, you couldn't write this. You couldn't write this in a manga. If you wrote this in a manga, it's like, this is way too unrealistic, this dumpster fire, and like there's no way anyone could take this seriously, but like this happened. Have deep respect for librarians' dedication to not become a sellout, but I still want to draw a fake keychain merch for fun. Well, if you want to do that, go ahead. I'll put it, if anyone draws anything, and Maurice, you're the first and only to have, so you get the honor of being on the wall. But if anyone wants to draw anything, that's not, you know, that will follow YouTube guidelines and doesn't immediately, you know, it doesn't go too far against my characterization. They want to draw something of me, I'm putting it up on the wall. It's going to be on the wall. It's going to be on there. It's going to be there, right there. That's where it's going to be. I'm saying if someone sells Charis Euphranor merch at con, I'm probably making an eat the bag. Thank you. It's probably not going to happen, but I appreciate the thought. Thank you. Like both the big brain explaining hardcore humanities and silly goose trying to clean shadows in dubious indie game. That's just because the texture, that's just because that was the graphic setting was like monumentally low. That's the only reason why. Okay, that's that's the only reason why. His merch should be free, but you can rent it from the library. I thought about, if I were to ever do merch, how would I ever do it? That's interesting. And one of the things I did think about was, what if I did merch but it was free? And like it would just be like, I don't know, no, but like, it's because when you talk about merch, it's always a physical thing. There's always a production. I think, yeah, if I wanted to do merch, I think what I would imagine would happen is, or one of the ideas I've played around in my head is, what if I made it free? So it's entirely, there's no money to be made, because that's such a weird concept. Who's making merch for free? The whole point of merchandise is to make money. So if you're making it for free, you're dumping money in the ocean for no reason. And that's precisely why I've thought about doing it. Where I'm like, you know, what if I can make enough money to cover that cost, so I'm not actually just sinking my non-existent like savings into a funny project. What if I can make it back through some other means and then just release merch that's free? But then it's not just like standard merch. It's like, maybe it's like a book, a collection of like writing or stories. But then it's like, it's not going to be I can't write for shit, so it's not going to be my writing. It's going to be someone else's writing. Then it's going to be a whole copyright battle. I've thought about what to do exactly. Maybe a book cover, maybe like a bookmark, something like that. That's something that's like kind of nice, and it's not just like a acrylic stand. I don't want to. If you see Charis Euphranor on an acrylic stand, on an acrylic stand, walk to the nearest river. Okay, don't do that. That's pollution. I was gonna say walk to the nearest river. Walk to the nearest river, and then do a baseball stance, and then chuck it as far as you can. I was gonna say that, but that's pollution. Don't do that. You should recycle it. Don't throw it in the ocean. Don't throw it in the ocean. You should try to recycle it. If you see an acrylic stand of Charis Euphranor, that's what you should do. Charis, anyone with this desire to be chess making us want to throw. That's the problem. That's the problem. Is like, I don't like this. I've stumbled into this by mistake. I don't enjoy. It's not. I don't enjoy. How do I say this? There's a little like. I understand what it's like. I understand the reverse effect of something, because it is sort of there's an acting role. There's acting advice for this, where if you want the audience to laugh with the character and you're playing the character, what you should do is you shouldn't laugh. You can, one of the ways you can do it is just embrace it fully and like go as push as far as you can. But another way that's really effective is make it so that your character is trying to hold back from doing the thing, from laughing. And then that, like, you know how when you're trying to be serious in a serious setting, social setting, and your friend like is trying to hold in like a really a laugh, and then they do the they do that thing, and then like that kills you, and then you start doing it, and then this is like, it is so insane, it is so difficult not to laugh. It's that because the reverse effect of like trying to hold it in prompts you to want to like to let it out, right? That's the whole idea of it. Same goes for crying, I believe. If you want to make the audience cry with you, cry with the character, one of the really effective ways to do it is actually not to just bawl your eyes out outright, but it's to hold it in. It's to have your character push it down as much as possible, but have that emotion swell up anyways in the performance. That's how you get people. That's how you do it. Because the reverse, if you can do it well, the reverse effect is true. The problem with that is I'm trying to be PG-13. and the problem with that is if I try really hard to be PG, there's a non-negligible amount of desiring people for it to be like, okay, but what if we snuck in a little bit of a BFE in there? And then it's like, okay, that ruins it. That's not the same. It doesn't, you know what I mean? How do I deal with it then? Because if I am like, maybe one of the ways I could do it is to embrace it, and then you'll realize that's cringe, I don't want this, and then you'll fuck off. But I don't want people to think that's cringe, I'm leaving, you know. That's not what I want. So I'm kind of in a rut. I'm right in the middle of a rut. I'm trying to figure it out. And you know what I'm going to do, and you know what the solution to that is? The solution I've thought of to this, not problem per se, but this like persisting kind of phenomena that plagues my channel from you terrible lot, is February. That's my answer. That's the answer I've constructed, is February. Chairman could play Chrono Trigger. Or off. I don't know what off is, but I've thought about playing Chrono Trigger, yes. Not throwing shade, but the first VTuber I saw was Shy Lily and gave bad impressions of what VTubering was. I understand. No comment, but I understand. Have y'all heard about the VTuber anime? No. Is there an anime about VTubers? I have to go watch that. I have to go look at that. We can draw. No, we're not doing that. Don't do that. don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Odara. Don't do that. Unironically, you could do like a bookmark merch that people can print out for free at home. Oh, I could do that. That would be interesting. Yeah, like something that's like it could be physical, but you assemble it, right? And so the cost is like not on me, but it's also like I'm not selling you anything, so I'm not profiting anything. That's interesting. Thank you, Maurice. I'm keeping that in mind. Stickers are not pricey. Yeah, but I don't want to sell stickers either. I just don't think it'd be very interesting. I don't know, would it? Maybe I'll do that. We're entertaining the idea of like, what if I sell out in the future, which is just a strange thing to entertain. Like, it's not, I'm not in a position to, I'm not close to being in a position to think, what if I sell out with my like 300 subscribers? Like, I am not in a position to do that. Could build a shrine for the acrylic stand. Don't do that. That's terrible. The acrylic Euphranor would not be pleased. The answer to all the freak prayers is the month of February. You'll see why. You'll see why. I hope you see why. I hope it doesn't just become like, oh, okay, so we're just doing freaky stuff in February. Okay. I hope that's not the case. But I understand what everyone's saying, and I understand what is happening, and I think there's some really interesting things to do with that. No drawings, but yeah, Adara, yes. I don't. So the thing is, like, I think I've talked about this. I've talked about people addressing or people asking me, because as a philosopher VTuber, you can't not be asked controversial things, or like you can't just avoid controversy. That voids the whole notion of being of engaging seriously with you know, critical thought and ideology. And so there's, you know, recent political conflicts that will constantly forever be happening, some a lot more, you know, everlasting than others. And so if anyone comes on my stream and asks me an opinion on a political matter, like for example the thing with Palestine, for example things, the wars going on in the world, for example, you know, recent assassinations of certain healthcare CEOs, like there's like a lot of political things that happen, and I'm not unaware of them in the sense that like I've completely blocked myself off, but I'm not educated enough to provide insight. And the only thing I can say about these things is I have my opinions, but my opinions are formed based on are informed by people who know a lot more than I do, right? And rather than, you know, having their knowledge and angle and understanding of certain things in the world go through like an unnecessary middleman filter of me to you, the more meaningful thing I can do is just say, go listen to these people and make up your own judgment in your head. Because it's one thing for me for people to walk into my stream and ask me, what are your stances on the recent political controversy? Like, it's one thing for people to ask that, and me to answer and say, here's my stance, and if you agree, and then if you know, if perhaps you value my opinion on things as a person, you listen to me. I think and that would only make it so that you are informed on one, not even informed, but you have the quote unquote correct opinion on one issue. My problem with that, or my thing with that, is I would rather, instead of having people to constantly come over to me to ask me about my opinion on certain controversial things, embed a sense of nuance and critical thinking in people, so that you would already know what I think. And you would already know how I would think of something, and not only that, you know whether or not you agree or disagree with me. That's the goal. So if I were to just go out and, like, you know, say certain things, it's also to avoid virtue signaling, because some people virtue signal when they're not like clear about certain issues, and they just go with the quote unquote like correct opinion, and it's just like, it's very reductive, it's very uninteresting, it's very doesn't contribute shit to anything. I'm very staunchly against virtue signaling. So if, yeah, in the inevitable discussions or in the inevitable questions and people in chat coming in asking me about certain things around the world, I can only say, read good media and form a good opinion. Not just your opinion, but it has to be good. It's both. It has to be your opinion and it has to be a good opinion. And when I say good opinion, I mean an opinion that is well informed by the facts around you, and not at all, you know, just solely rooted in dogma or rigid beliefs that are fundamentally incompatible with you know, some viewpoints of the world. Yeah, mostly say silent because people going, hey, speak about this one issue, then speaking about it while not being educated would feel like virtue signaling. Exactly, yeah. It doesn't matter if I have an answer you agree with. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is I have an answer I agree with. And that's all that matters. VTuber legend, how I went viral after forgetting to turn off my stream at its 12 episodes. Interesting, I might watch that. VTuber legend. Okay. Excuse me, 1 second. think bad things are bad and good things are good. Shit happens. Yep, that's my opinion. Yep. Oh. Chairman, I can watch your... Is this a family ambient with salads? I will refresh you on my view on what you do in my stream, which is do what you want. Just do what you want. Unless whatever you're doing involves would be you, unless in your judgment, in your personal judgment, you think what you're doing on the chat or in the stream would make the stream itself off-putting for any reasons. For example, so if you put anything that's, you know, if you put something in chat that is not funny but also doesn't contribute to any discussion but also is just intended to be inflammatory, then, you know, that would be off-putting for people who join the stream. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do anything except be off-putting. Don't be off-putting, because then I'm gonna have a harder time maintaining viewership. Then that's when I'm gonna bring the hammer in. That's when I'm gonna bring down the hammer. All right. That's when I'm gonna have to ban someone. I still haven't yet. I still have not had to ban anyone. It's been 6 months. I've gotten not close. No, I've never gotten close to banning anyone. No. I think I've never even seen a hate comment, really. The closest I've seen that I could maybe charitably interpret at, well, not even charitably, actually uncharitably interpret as just hate is like one comment on, no, I don't want to send, like, I don't want to, okay, there's like a stream on, yeah, there's a stream where someone put a comment in a VOD saying, philosopher VTuber, really? And then, like, in the kind of way that I interpret it as could be like, oh, that's like a terrible idea, don't do that. And I said, I think I replied like, I know, right? Isn't it terrible? Like in jest, right? That's like the closest thing I've gotten to like a hate comment. I've not gotten any hate comments, which is what's surprising to me, actually. When I started streaming 6 months ago, I thought I would get a lot more people coming in going like, fuck you, you know, like, but that's not happened. And I was really preparing for that. I was gearing up. I was like, here's like, how do I deal with this? How do I talk? How do I fire back? Do I fire back? Do I respond in kindness? Something's going on. But no, hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened at all. Let's look at some dating sim trailers and we try to guess which characters Charis will romance. That's an idea. That is an idea. Something similar. I've had this idea. I've had something like this, but maybe like less guessing which ones I will romance and just like debating which one would be the best romance was like the idea of what I had in mind. I've thought about that. Hate comment. There we go. That's the first one. Thank you. Reminds me, Charis, will you ever stream Doki Doki Literature Club? No, probably not. And the reason is because I've already played a portion of the game. I haven't finished the game, but I've played a portion of it and I've watched people play it. So, and I think part of the strength of the game is the twists it does. And if I already know the twist, I think it's not worth streaming it. So I'm not going to, in the interest of making the stream somewhat interesting. I volunteers as Grillby. Grillby, I think Grillby is the name here that might have been the earliest name I remember seeing in this chat. I think you might be the earliest name I've seen. It's either this one or Terradito. It's one of them. So it's safe to assume you ignore my comments because I'm too funny. Yes, that's exactly right. It's exactly right, maybe. Did you romance Yuri? Yeah. Next question. Charis preparing emotionally for hate crimes he found just 20 weird. It's just like weird. I feel like the hate crimes will come on eventually. I'm waiting for it. It's almost like I'm almost excited for it. I'm like, what is the angle? What are people coming in with to say? I want to see, I want to know what the criticism is, because most of it's probably just going to be hate. It's just going to be, you know, like, probably, you know, because of the fact that I'm a male VTuber, and but that doesn't, you know, that's just going to be generic, you know, that's not going to cut deep. The best type of hate, or rather, maybe not the best type, but the most effective type of hate is the stuff that cuts really deep, right? It gets straight into the insecurity of the person. That's like the most potent form of hatred. And the hate comments you can. You attack this person's insecurities, right? So now I'm thinking, what is the worst hate comment that could ever hit me? Because I don't think there's anything that's I'm entirely terribly insecure of as Charis Euphranor. I've acknowledged everything coming into the stream, coming into this sphere of streaming that I've ever thought about, which I think holistically is the entire experience. I've thought a lot about the fact that I'm a male VTuber. I've thought a lot about the fact that I'm branding myself in this way as a philosopher and not reading enough philosophy. I've thought a lot about the fact that I'm not very well read. So when people sometimes ask me questions on philosophy, I just can't answer them. I've thought a lot about those things. I've thought a lot about being a streamer with a low view count, but I guess that's not even, like, there's tons of streamers with low view counts. It's not really me specifically. I've thought about my choice of presenting myself in this form rather than, you know, something else like I don't know, like a face cam or whatever. I've thought about everything. There's nothing anyone can attack me with, I would imagine, that would actually cut deep, I think. But the moment it does would be an awakening. I think it'd be very interesting for me. I think it'd be very interesting. The librarian romanced the bookworm. I am so shocked. Oh. Henry ignores my comments because every time he sees me yapping, he loses a little bit of RAM. I don't usually, I've yet to actively ignore a comment. If I don't read something out loud, it's either because I don't know if I want to read it out loud. I've acknowledged, but I've read it and I acknowledge that it exists in the chat. Or I don't think muting it out loud and then responding to it contributes further to much discussion. That's the reason I ignore stuff usually. But I also read it a lot. I think inevitably, and as time will go on, I'm going to be able to read less comments. Hopefully. This is the good case scenario. This is the good case scenario. Not the best case, but it's like one of the better case scenarios, right? I would be less able to read all the comments and chats that show up in the feed. And hopefully that's because there's more than I can handle. And I'm going to say right now that I'm not very good at reading, so this is kind of my limit. I'm really close to my limit right now. And there's also because I have a tendency to just talk and I'm just saying things in my head, and I can't do that while reading at the same time. I have to pick one or the other. Yep, I am ignoring that comment, Odara, exactly. Last speech, I fear the next video is reading The Art of War. You'll be, okay, I'm sorry to all the, like, 2 Fire Emblem 3 Houses enjoyers here. I know I haven't streamed Fire Emblem 3 Houses recently, and the reason I have not, and I haven't gone back to it, is because my previous setup for streaming 3 Houses doesn't work anymore. I have to find a new way to set it up to stream it if I want to stream it, and I have not been able to do that yet. I must apologize. And it's also because it's quite turbulent right now in the library. It's just, I can't set it up so that I'm streaming things on my Switch. So it's not just Three Houses, it's also just ancient lore, right? Tears of the Kingdom. I did like 2 or 3 streams of that. I haven't been able to stream either of those games. And the reason I have not been able to stream either of those games is because I haven't been able to get it to work with my Switch. I really want to, but I just don't think I can. But the reason I bring this up is because when you mentioned the Art of War, that's what I do in the Three Houses streams, is like every chapter of the game. I do 1 chapter every stream of the game, and I also read 1 chapter of the Art of War. So it's like 1 chapter of Three Houses, which is like a month. And then I do 1 chapter of an online translated copy of Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Hopefully I get too popular to give you any attention. Exactly. That's the plan. Hopefully I'm just so popular and so widely watched, which I just don't see happening in the near future, but one can dream. Hopefully I get too popular and I can't give anyone any individualized attention anymore. And that's when, yeah, that's when you'll know. My comments will always be the funniest in a sea of 500 commenters. That is the spirit. As long as you make the funniest comment, it doesn't matter how many scroll past, I will acknowledge that one if it's the funniest. Three Houses is dead. I'm sorry, like it's not. Like I'm sorry it is, but it currently is kind of dead. I must apologize. I know there's a non-zero amount of people that really wanted to watch me play Three Houses. I think someone in chat, I think their name, I remember their name. Someone in chat said, oh, Fire Emblem, that's cool, right? When I mentioned Fire Emblem, but it was a while after I had last streamed Fire Emblem Three Houses. Who was it? They had a blue profile icon. I think it was PK Lucky. I think that was the name of the user who shows up occasionally on the streams. If you're here, congratulations, I remember you. But I remember this person going like, oh, a Fire Emblem stream would be cool, but it's unfortunate because since then I've not been able to do any more Fire Emblem streams. Must apologize. Rip to Three Houses, start a new playthrough because of your playthrough as well. I'm so sorry, I just can't, like... But yeah, I wanted to continue. I wanted to do Tears of the Kingdom as well, but for the near future, it's not possible. I will try to finish all the other games though. I'll try not to abandon any games. I'll try to actually finish them. I think it's the harder thing to do. It's the less algorithmically beneficial thing, but I think it's the more like it's the more difficult but worthwhile difficult option. And I'm going to do the worthwhile difficult options in this choose your own adventure. That's what I'm going to do. When will Charis read the Princess Trilogy? The Princess Trilogy? What's that? Princess Trilogy. What is that? Serpent Prince, number 3 in the series. Okay. I've never read these. I don't know what these are. When will I read them? I don't know. No idea. Sharon K. Penman, American historical novelist, best known for the Welsh Princess Trilogy and the Plantagenet series. In addition, she wrote 4 medieval mysteries, the first of which, The Queen's Men, was a finalist in 1996. Is that her? The Welsh Princess Trilogy. Is that what that is? Here Be Dragons, Falls the Shadow, The Reckoning. I've not read any of these. I'm not familiar with this. Okay, it's this. I was not made aware of this. I didn't know this was a thing. It will float around in my headspace now. Only seen the chatting part of Effie. It makes me feel insane. You've only seen the yapping. You've not seen like the actual like battles of it. Don't worry, the battles are just me resetting 20 times and going like, that's not fair, that's bullshit. There's no way that guy comes out and one-shots my student. There's no way. Felix, no! That's like most of the battle portion. Or like Mercedes. Mercedes is the one who dies mostly, I think. Were you disappointed when I told you to make it clap? First, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny too, but I didn't want to repeat it. But I did think it was funny. Sometimes I think something's funny and I'll read it, but I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to repeat it on the stream. But yeah, those are the, I think that's the reason why I haven't streamed Three Houses recently or at all, any of the Switch games. I am sorry to anyone who was watching those, but that's the reason. Which I doubt is too big of an issue, because it's some VTuber playing a game. It's not that big of a deal, but I do think there's some sort of like onus and responsibility to at least address it, and this is me addressing it now. I've not had the chance to address it because it's just not been in my head space. But yes, I unfortunately will not be streaming the Switch games in the near future. Otherwise, though, my channel seems to be doing just fine. I think I'm doing most of the other streams. I'm continuing. Yeah, I have not abandoned much. Yeah, I'm continuing my Vampire Therapist next week as well. I think that's probably the most long running game I've had. I really want to finish the long running games I have, the somewhat episodic games I have. And the reason is because I really want to play The Walking Dead. It's one of the games in my library. I don't know if I can stream. I think I can. It's an old game. I think I would be able to stream it without my model being on 2, 3, 5 frames per second. I hope, but that's one of the games, Walking Dead, that I want to do. That's also an incredibly long running thing because it's mainly just like, it really is just a drama. The Telltale game, exactly. Yes, Telltale's The Walking Dead. I bought the it was on sale, the complete edition. Let me check. Where is it? Where is it? The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series. That's what it is. It's like 45 gigabytes. I do not have it installed yet, but it's like a whole ass collection of like 5 seasons of it. It's almost like a show in some sense. But you do have choices in the game. That's one of my favorites. Good. That's good. That's one of your favorites. You get to watch me play it. I've never played it before, but I've been told it's phenomenal. And I want to stream it. But I want to finish all my other episodic things first. So this becomes the main episodic thing that runs through. And then the plan is The Walking Dead is probably going to be the thing I stream for a somewhat long period of time. Maybe I'll stream it every week. And then I'll do some other games like while I stream Walking Dead. And it'll be like a playthrough. What else do I have? I have Disco Elysium. That's what I want to do as well. Which I think will also be episodic. Those are the current things I have that are like long running games I've yet to stream that I want to make sure there is space for it in the channel. Yippee, you love the game? Fantastic. That's wonderful. It's good that people are ready then. Or at least there's some interest. If there's like one person who wants to watch it, I'll play a game. But I've never played them before. I don't know anything about it. Fair warning, the ending of the season will make you cry. I've heard. And I do cry easily. I do cry somewhat easily. I was rewatching Mob Psycho the other day, season 3, and I got to the part, the broccoli episode of season 3 with Dimple and the broccoli. You'll know what I'm saying, and if I say any more, it might spoil anyone who hasn't watched it yet. But I got to that part, and I was crying at the end of the episode. It was bad. It was like, oh fuck. It's just, it's the thing. Like, and I know what prompted that, right? As well, it's like it's the whole character arc, and it's the whole like payoff for like the thing at the end where Mob is like doing this. He's doing the thing I described earlier, where if you want a character if you want the audience to cry with a character, here's what you do, right? Like, and they did that, and it just like it hits me. I know the moves, I know how it's gone because it's a rewatch. I know what the story is, but then it still like got me bawling. Anyways, it was not, yeah. Would sell my soul to see Charis play Fallout 1 or Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines. You guys have mentioned Masquerade Bloodlines a lot. There's a few of you that mentioned that. Fallout 1, I've seen previews of. I don't know if I want to play it because it looks kind of overwhelming. Did you cry watching Arcane? I did in season 1, but not really in season 2. I think in season 2 I was, a bit distracted. I got really close towards in the last bit with Jinx and Vi. And yeah, so I think some people haven't watched it, so I'm not gonna say more than that. I got really close in that bit. It was like the last episode. But I didn't cry otherwise. And I don't think it was because I think the emotional beats landed fine, but I was, I think, a bit too overwhelmed and distracted by the narrative and the pacing of it going so fast that I was spending so much time trying to figure out what's going on that I didn't have enough time for me personally, right, to sort of immerse myself in the emotional drama that's going on. And if I were to be critical about this, if I were to critique the show, I would say this is to its fault. You know, this is to its fault that the pacing is a little rushed, and we didn't have enough time to breathe with the characters. Whereas in season 1, we had just the right amount of time to breathe with all the characters, with, you know, exciting things driving the plot forward as well. It was all just the perfect balance. It was the lightning in the bottle. It was the perfect storm. It was like so good, season 1. That season 2, if you have to compare it, season 2 does become a little disappointing. It's unfortunate, but yeah. If we insist a little more, we can make him play VTM as Malkavian. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Keep insisting. If you really want something, just keep insisting, because that tells me above all else it's like you really want to see the thing, and like that will make me consider that if people really want to see it. If people are like, oh, it'd be cool, and then they mention it once and never again, then I'm like, okay, well, that was a fun concept, but you probably don't really want to see it. But if people mention the same thing multiple times and insisting on it, I can imagine like you've probably thought about wanting me to do it, whatever that thing is, and that will definitely put it in my head. I will not be a maxi gamer, but I will judge harshly for your decisions. In The Walking Dead, I understand, and I think I am expecting nothing but judgment from everyone here. I think that's part of the fun of streaming it, because otherwise, if I didn't want people to watch me and judge me for my decisions, I'd just play it alone. But I want to stream it, and part of it is because I'm anticipating some of you in chat going like, no, don't do this, how could you, Charis? No. Do not make him Malkavian. I don't know what that even means. Like, you guys are having this internal discussion that I am not privy to. Talking about it since I started watching these lives. I'm sorry, Udar. I have yet to. I know you really want to see it, but I need to find like a time to do it. Sometimes, okay, I have no. You guys, this is devolving this thing. I have no idea of. Okay, how long have I been streaming? 2 hours. Okay, maybe not last thing, but something I wanted to bring up as well. Now that we're talking about games and people really wanting to watch games, I have to talk about this for the 6-month stream, right? I have to talk about this. Class of 09. That's the there you go. That's the thing. That's the stream. I said it. I said Class of 09. There you go. I drank some water just now. Yep, there you go. Class of 09. I said it. I said the thing. Those are the magic words. Those are the magic words. They seem to be the magic words. From what my channel's been telling me so far, those are the magic words. If I say Class of 09, it will work. Whatever it is, it will work. I have no idea where this comes from. No goddamn clue. Some of you have come from Class 09. I would imagine most of you have. Prior to 09, my viewership is the usual low, right? It's a standard low. It's what I expect. It's like, it's honestly, my viewership before Class of 09 was already higher than I expected as a male VTuber who just debuted and has no idea what's going on and has never streamed a day in his life. I thought, you know what? These numbers are pretty good. They're not bad at all. This was the case for like Elden Ring. This was the case for all the other games. I would like hover in there. And then one day, 4 months ago, 2 months into my debut, 4 months ago, I streamed Class of 09 and I titled it Philosopher VTuber Educates the Youth. That week was a whole... There was a theme for that week. The theme for that week was that it was like an education week. I'd read Pedagogic Creed by John Dewey. He's a famous like educational thinker. I was also playing Three Houses at the time because it was also like classroom themed that week. For some fucking reason, I have no idea. 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. Sorry, hold on. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Class of 09. For some reason, it is the... People just really wanted to watch that. I don't know why. That's what I mentioned. He said it and hypnotized. There you go. That's... going for a smoke break. That's a very Class of 09 thing to do, yes. The FBI get me? Not yet. Maybe they will soon. I streamed Class of 09 4 months ago, and then during the stream there were more people than usual. So prior to that stream, I think my concurrent usually was like 3, 4, sometimes 5. When I was streaming 09, it was like 13, 15. And I was like, that's crazy. That's a lot more people than I thought would be here, right? And days after this, like the day the stream ended, I think every other stream I had prior to that was like hovering around like 20 something, 30, 40, 50 views. I did a philosophy stream that week, my first one. It was The Present Age by Soren Kierkegaard, or rather the literary review, but I titled it Present Age because that was like kind of the specific part of literary review I wanted to read. And that got 86 views. It was pretty good. 09 got 170, I think 100 something views the day I finished streaming it. And then every day afterwards, I kept getting more and more views on the VOD. That was what weirded me out. I knew that videos had the potential to gain, you know, traction and views over the course of the next few days, but like it being just a raw 3-hour VOD where my Steam name was partially doxed. Okay, I have faith in everyone who's here. I have faith in everyone who's here to respect me enough to not go back to the first stream and try to look for what I mean by my Steam name was kind of doxed for like a second. I have faith, and it's not the same since I've changed it. So if you were like, but you could probably, like, okay, I have faith in everyone here when I say this is one of the few things I actually would be kind of uncomfortable with, is if you went back to that VOD and specifically tried to look for that part. Please don't do that. If you do, I can't stop you, but like I want you to know that I would feel a little uncomfortable with that. And I thought because of that, actually, it was literally just 1 second. I even thought about deleting the VOD the moment I ended stream. I thought, okay, like I'm gonna delete this, but then I thought, oh no, there's a lot of people watching this. This was like at the time when there was 100 views. I was like, this is a lot more than usual. Okay, I guess I have to keep it up, and I just have to hope that nobody like looks at that. and then like a week later, it was at 2,000 views. I'm like, fuck. There's like someone has to see that part, right? But hopefully not, because that was when I was still setting up and I was trying to set up the game, the game in the stream. So it was like not in the middle of it. It was like right at the beginning, and I think most people skipped it to where I started playing, which is good. The only thing I'd go back to it for to give you a game on Steam, but since you asked, I obviously won't look. Yeah, okay, thank you. Like, but don't, yeah, you don't give me anything. Just because I would like to. I think prior to streaming, I thought to myself, do I want to ask if in the future, like this is before I debuted, I asked myself, do I want to ask people to gift me games they want to watch me play? And I thought no. And the reason I thought no was ultimately because if I'm streaming something, it has to be there has to be an element of it that's for me, not just for like the viewership, right? The audience. And so if there is at least 1% of the fact that I'm streaming a certain game because I want to enjoy it, then I should buy the game. I shouldn't pirate it. I shouldn't, illegally download it anywhere. I shouldn't. I should pay money to buy the game and play it if I'm going to stream it. That was the sort of like, that was the thing I told myself. I'm not like in the future, if people really want to give me something, there's probably other ways to do it. I think I will enable super chatting once that's possible. It's currently not possible, but once that's possible, I can enable that. And if you really want to do that, you can. And the reason I'm saying that's okay, and I'm not saying, hey, every night I want to see more, I want to see Reds, I want to see Outcast Supers. No, I don't. I'm not seeking it, but I'm not going to restrict it. I'm not going to stop it because it's part of I think it's very deeply embedded in VTuber culture, and I want to understand I don't want to understand VTuber culture, so I'm going to leave it there when that's available, but I'm not going to encourage it. I'm not interested in encouraging it. Class of 09 VOD was the first video of yours I've seen. Yeah, it was probably most people's first video. Yeah, if I had seen, I would send you shit over here, but respect boundaries and shit. Yeah, it's like boundaries is like one of the things, but it's also like the reasoning I mentioned earlier is the biggest reason. It's boundaries is also part of it though as well. But if you want to like super chat or whatever, or like membership, I think when I can enable that, I will. I'm not going to ask people to do it. I will not. That's how you know I've been taken over by a clone. That's how you know, right? That if I ask people, hey, send some super chats or like, gift memberships or something, something's wrong. Someone has killed Charis Euphranor off stream. There's a murder mystery now. It's a murder mystery now. That's the genre. We've swapped genres. It's now a murder mystery. You need to figure out what happened to Charis Euphranor. Because clearly he died and an imposter has taken place. Clearly something's wrong. If you see me ask for this type of thing, you will know something's fucked up. You should leave and evacuate immediately. But I'm not opposed to just enabling it, having it there, because it's so deeply embedded in VTuber culture, which is something I'm trying to learn and improve on. With that said, the only reason I haven't enabled it actually is because I have not met the subscriber count requirement for monetization. I think it's either 500 or 1,000 subscribers. I have the watch time count. Actually, I can check right now. Might as well. I mean, this is a 6-month video. I can go I can check the stuff behind the scenes. I think it makes sense. Yeah, so I would be eligible for membership if I had more subscribers. I have well exceeded the watch hours count, which I heard was the most difficult one to do. The easiest one I heard was actually the video uploaded and subscriber count, but then the hardest one was the watch hours. I have the watch hours filled in because unfortunately or fortunately for you, for all of you lot, you spend a lot of time watching this channel. Anyone who's listening to this has probably spent an enormous amount of time here. So, you know, that's already taken care of on the analytics side of things. The only thing that's actually stopping me from the eligibility of that is the subscriber count. And I think you need 500 or 1,000. 500 for one thing, 1,000 for another. And so that's monetization. And this isn't a goal, or rather this is a subscriber goal, but I'm not gonna go around asking people to do it. I have a short explaining why. I have a short explaining why. You know what? I'm gonna have myself speak for this. I think that would be appropriate. Let me find this. Okay. Let me just go here. Set this up. I'm gonna let myself speak for myself. Okay. Are you ready?
But I'll be watching.
Okay. Okay. This is me explaining why if you see, why there's you will know there is an imposter if I ask for like monetization, or if I ask for engagement, if I ask to like and subscribe. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to talk for myself. Wait, before we do that, hold on. You able to edit videos from YouTube though? No. Yeah, I thought that was the case. I tried to go back to edit the VOD, and if for some reason I can't cut it, I'll try to do that again maybe. But apparently, I think you used to be able to do it. I don't know why I can't do it now. Maybe it's also like a subscriber thing. I don't know. Little bit of security breach is a treat. Audience is small right now, so no crazies have infiltrated yet. Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm waiting. I'm waiting for like crazy. I'm just waiting for insane people. I'm just preparing. I'm preparing myself mentally for that. And we're all broke. Yes, that's true. And I do mean we. Trust you will never become that one streamer who stopped playing the game until she got enough money to satisfy. $5. Can you not afford $5 for this entertainment? What is that? What she says? $5. Self-react? Exactly. Yes. I was watching a video yesterday that I liked, and I was gonna like it. No, so the thing is, if you like the video, you should like it. But if you're clicking the button just because the person in the video asked you to, you need to ask yourself, what am I doing? That's what you need to do. That's okay. Hold on. I'll explain it. Watch. I'm gonna explain it now.
Like a perfectly fine video, and then the fucking thing pops up and it boils my blood. My blood is boiling when I see that, because I'm like, okay, I may have considered liking your video. I might have considered subscribing. I might have considered even ringing the bell icon if I liked your content enough after watching a few of your things, right? I might have done that. But the moment you told me to do it, I don't want to do it anymore. I know that if I like the video, I should like it. You don't need to remind me if I like the video that I should like the video. You should have some faith. You have no faith in me to know that if I want to see more of your content, that I would click the subscribe button. That's what the button is there for. Like, why do you have to remember? I don't need you to tell me what the like and subscribe button do. I don't need you to tell me what the bell button does. I know what it does. I'll be watching like a perfect.
All right, that's all right. That's the react content for the stream. That's the react content. We're going back to this. Hold on. Yep. Okay. Entertain it and MFP reading medieval torture in Foucault. This is real of you. Actually, thank you. This is why I will not become the very thing. I'll try my best not to become the very thing I swore to destroy. Okay, like I wouldn't, because that defeats the purpose. We are destroying. This is a destruction. This is a cataclysmic destruction of engagement, of the meaning of engaging with something earnestly and genuinely as your authentic self. If you like something, you're going to like it. If you want to see more of it, you're going to do the button that lets you see more of it. That's like the subscribe button. If you want to know exactly when that thing comes out so you can see it, then you're gonna like click on the bell button, because that's what that does. You're informed. The moment you stepped onto YouTube, you know what that did. You knew what that did. And if you didn't know, some motherfucker would have told you. At least one person in the first, I guarantee if you close your eyes, you throw a dart on a board and it's the YouTube home feed for a first time person who's gone on YouTube, like that person, most likely almost 100%, you throw a dart and it hits something, that person's gonna tell you exactly how the like button works, how the subscribe button works, and how the bell button works, because they want you to fucking click on them so it will boost their algorithmic numbers. No one is deprived of this knowledge on this platform. Everyone knows what it does. So why the fuck are you explaining it to me? That's the first thing, right? Second thing is, you're explaining it to me because you want me to do it, right? You want me to like your video. Well, if you want me to like your video, you shouldn't ask me to like the video. You know what you should do? You should make a really fucking good video. That's what you should do. You should make a phenomenal goddamn video that floors me and and makes me go, oh my god, this is what I go on this website for, right? You know the people that do this? Let me know. Let me know does this. Let me know does this. Summoning Salt does this. Fucking like these YouTube channels, they do that. They don't fucking ask me to do the like and subscribe bullshit. But they floor me so hard with the phenomenal quality of their content. I go, I have to see more of this. I want to express to the algorithm that this is what I want. I need this. I need more of this, and I want to know the second it drops. I want to know the second it's available. I want to see it, and that's what I'll do. That's when I'll click the subscribe button for. If I don't feel that way, then I'm not gonna click it, right? But if a person, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like a comedian walking on stage and they tell a joke and it bombs. It's just not very funny. It's not a funny joke. It's just like, he bombs on stage and he goes, hey, like, make sure to laugh after I'm done with my joke, by the way. I'm done with the joke now. There's a pause in the air. Please laugh now. No, that, like, can you imagine a comedian doing that? And then the audience going, ha, 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 yeah, right. Oh, I almost forgot to laugh. Silly me. I forgot to laugh at the funny joke. No, you didn't forget to laugh at the joke. The joke wasn't fucking funny, so you shouldn't laugh. And if the joke wasn't fucking funny, you should not lie to yourself and everyone else around you that it was. And in the same way, if the video you watched wasn't something you really liked, if it wasn't that good, you shouldn't lie to yourself and lie to everyone around you and lie to the world that you liked the video. You shouldn't do that. That is the destruction of the authentic self in motion. This is how we become alienated from the things we consume. This is how we become less human. This is how the humanity in humanity is removed from humanity. This is what happens. For real, I find myself only subscribed to YouTubers that never ask. Yeah, exactly. Same here. I don't think I've ever subscribed to anyone that's like, hey, you should remember to. When someone asks me, I'll do, and I was subscribed to them, I'm going to unsubscribe. Like, that's how much I'm like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. Most of the clear crusades against pagans were less passion than Charis. It's just like, it bothers me so much. It just pisses me off. Sorry, I already ranted on the short. I don't know why I'm ranting again now. I've already expressed my rage. I've already... Pisses me off when YouTubers like, get this video to 1 million likes for part 2. Yeah, no. Yeah, like make the part 2 if you feel like you want to make it and it's worth making, and then release it. It shouldn't be contingent on like a certain amount of likes on your video for a continuation of that thing, unless
that thing that you're doing is not that worth it. You know, if it's just something, if you don't care about the video that much, if you're like, you know, I made this video, I could do without it, whatever, you know, and if people really like it, then I'll make a part 2. Well, if you really, if you didn't care enough to do it, and you have to split this thing into 2 parts to make it, and you just wanted to test the waters to see if people care, then clearly you don't care about it enough. And if you don't care about it enough, I don't either. If you don't care about this thing that you're showing me, then why should I care about it? You know, why should I care about a streamer who doesn't care about their stream? Why should I care about a video whose creator never actually gave a shit about that video? There's just no reason. Doing full ally message computer now. I'm not AM. I'm not in rage. It's just I feel very strongly about this because it's like I can't, because you know the reason, one of the reasons why I hate this so much is I know for a fact that if I abandoned all my principles, if I stopped being a real authentic person, and I just, every stream I just kept engagement baiting, and I kept doing the thing where, hey, 70% of you are not subscribed, like if I do that, people will actually subscribe more. If I, on the Class of 09 VOD at the end, if I said something along the lines of, hey, make sure to like stay around and click the subscribe button, if I did that, I guarantee I would be at I would at least be at 500 subscribers right now. I know it would work. That's what pisses me off. Is like, I could never do it. I could, like, my humanity holds itself together. I'm myself. I am holding myself together. But if I were to just abandon that for a little bit, if I were to just, you know, if I were to just give in, if I were to just dip my toes in the dark water, I could easily achieve the current things I'm kind of struggling for, which is, you know, reaching certain milestones to enable monetization on channel, etc., etc. If I were to just give in to the dark side for just a little bit, I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. I will never do it. And if I do, you will know something's wrong. You will know something fucked up. You will know that I'm no longer the same. I've changed. You've changed, Charis Euphranor. I didn't want to watch you anymore. You've changed. You know, you should do that to me if I ever do that. I was literally watching a video and was like, I think I'm going to subscribe. But then at the very end, he was like, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell apps a lot. Like, never fucking mind. Yeah. FZF asks, did you play Class of 09 this flip side? Yes, I did. So I played the first game, Class of 09. I saw 2,000 people wanted to watch it, and I thought, all right, the people have asked and I will deliver. Well, it was that, and also because I was intending to anyways, because I think my exposure to it was I saw the mall cop stream on like some social media site. I was scrolling through it and I was like, this is fucking hilarious. I want to get into this game. What is this game? Oh, it's Class of 09. Interesting. And that's like, I knew already at that point, and people were talking about a new game coming up. So I was like, oh, this is now a good time to get into it. So I played 09, and then like a week or 2 weeks later, I played Re-Up. That's the sequel. And then a week after that, or like maybe 2 weeks after that, I continued. I went back to 09 to finish some of the endings I didn't finish yet. And then a month later, Flipside came out, and I played Flipside. And I played it, and the silver lining of Class of 09, the flip side, is it got me another 2,000 views on the VOD. The silver lining is that my viewership was great on that VOD. That's the silver lining, because otherwise, holy shit, what a miserable experience it was playing Class of 09, the flip side. What a profound waste. It wasn't even a waste of time. Because it's not like, oh, there was nothing there. No, there was. It wasn't just zero. It was negative. My experience wasn't positive. It wasn't zero. It was negative. They served me a plate of food on the restaurant, and while I was eating it, they took a shit on the plate. Like that is what 09 the flip side is. Okay, I understand that there's some, like, after a while people are mellowing out over it. They're like, oh, it wasn't that bad, and they're reminiscing on the better scenes. Like, they're thinking about, oh, the was it 7 seconds joke? The 7 seconds joke was really good. I did think that was hilarious, and it was very on brand. It worked very well. Everything else was fucking, like, it wasn't just bad, right? It wasn't just bad because, oh, like, the author just couldn't live up to the astronomical expectations of the previous game. It was bad because the author
it felt like the creator actively destroyed it in front of me because he hated me. He hated the fact that I liked the first two games, and he destroyed it because of that. That's what that felt like. That's what that game felt like. I was miserable, not just because it was bad, but because it was made to piss me off and make me miserable intentionally. And the fact that I paid money to buy the game and then play it and stream it, like that infuriated me. That I was genuinely, I'm very rarely frustrated by the games I've played so far in a way that's like actually fuck this game. Not like Elden Ring where I go fuck this game and then I play again the next day because it's so good, but it's like actually unbelievable how terrible my experience was with it. The only other time that happened was the Charlie Problem stream, and I had to delete the VOD. It was so bad I had to delete the VOD. Like that was the most miserable experience. But the silver lining of Flipside is that everyone else pretty much, like in my stream at least, understood where I was coming from and agreed that yes, this is a miserable experience. And we all, I think, bonded over the fact that we had to suffer through this together. And also, yeah, my viewership from that. And I'm sure I got like probably a few subscribers off of that. If silver lining of 09 was that it ended, yeah. 09 is carrying the engagement of the channel. I really want to get to another game that does it, so it's not just on 09's back. It's not that I don't want to be, it's obviously I don't want to be defined by it, but also I didn't want to watch, I didn't want to be only known for 09, so I want to hit that lightning in a bottle again for something where everything just works. I don't know what that will be though. I have no idea what that game is, or what that stream is, but really it's like a game because I'm going to play the game, right? Part of me, there's a little part of me that hopes it's The Walking Dead. There are some games where I have some hope for, and there's some games I have no hope for. One of the games I hoped for is The Walking Dead. One of the games I hoped for that didn't work out, that didn't pan out the way I thought it would. I don't mind talking about this because it's, you know, this is the behind the scenes stream. Is what was the stream? Vampire Therapist. I really thought Vampire Therapist was going to pop off as a game and be really, really like big. It was going to grow really big. And I would be able to get in at the right time to play the game so that people would, getting in at the right time. I thought people would really enjoy it and above all, it was also because I just wanted to play the game. It seemed like something I wanted to enjoy. And I did enjoy it. I think it's a really good game. I don't regret playing it at all. I love it. That's why I'm going to continue it. I really, really do think Vampire Therapist is really good. But it's not the same. It didn't reach the same highs that 09 did, purely in terms of engagement. Nothing else. Just purely numbers, right? Nothing to do with the quality of the game. Just numbers. And that I'm like not disappointed in, but I'm like, damn, I put my chips in that basket and it didn't work out. Oh well, gotta try again, right? My next attempt is hopefully the next attempt is Walking Dead. But we'll see. We'll see. Actually, one more silver lining for 09 I didn't mention was someone posted me on Reddit. So the day after I did like I read Bell Hooks because I was reading feminist philosophy right after the part of the game. I just couldn't. I was like, I need to clear my palate. And excuse me, I burped a little bit. I hope you didn't hear that. I burped a little bit in my throat because I was drinking water. The other silver lining is someone posted me on Reddit, and it was a screenshot of like the thumbnail, the joke, right? Which is the thumbnail I did for 09 Flipside, philosopher VTuber fears for the youth, and then right after it's like recovering from Flipside by reading feminist literature. And the funny thing is, I thought of this joke. I thought to do this joke already beforehand, before I played the game, but I was anticipating that the game would be good. I was anticipating that the game would be good in the same way 09 and 09 Re-Up were good, where like it's a very accurate portrayal of toxic matriarchal or toxic misandry in response to a patriarchal world, right? Like that was what made it super interesting. And like I thought
I thought the joke would be funny. Instead, the joke went the other way, but was also equally funny because it turns out that, you know, the game about how you shouldn't, the game that makes fun of people for thirsting over like teenage girls or something, or, you know, like, yeah, like, look, like the game that made fun of people who were into teenage girls sexualized the teenage girls in the game. And it's like, you know, you can't, I can't, I don't know why they do that. I can't, I'm sorry, I just, and so the joke worked in the other way, I'm thankful for, and somebody posted me on Reddit. So when, in the following day, when people were like, oh, hey, I came from the Reddit, just stop by the stream to check it out, I thought they were talking about my post on Reddit. I posted something on Reddit, which nobody saw. It has like 10 upvotes. I posted something on the Class of 09 Reddit that was just my Twitter thread explaining, like, coping for how this game is actually just intentionally bad. It's promotion. It's like, you know, it's a meta commentary. You know, it's meant to drive up controversy and engagement so that he'll release the real game. That was like my copium thread on Twitter that I also posted on Reddit and had like 10 upvotes. So the next time people were coming over saying, oh, hi, I'm from the Reddit, I thought they were coming from that thread, from me posting that. But no one cared because it was just a wall of text and, like, you know, it's not worth engaging in. It's boring and it's me yapping it to a wall. That's what it was. But I did, like, only a few days later when I was scrolling through my Reddit feed on my personal account, that I saw like my face and I had a heart attack. I was on my private feed scrolling on, and I saw my face and that gave me a heart attack. I was like, oh no, what's going on? Oh fuck, you know, did I mess up? Did I say something I shouldn't have said? Am I getting canceled? Is it over? Right? It hasn't been 6 months yet. It hasn't even been 6 months. Is it over? Is my career just like ended? Right? No, someone posted me and people liked the joke. And people came to my stream afterwards to talk about, yeah, to talk about Class of 09, I guess. That was fun. That was another silver lining. I'm happy that it happened. It was posted by a Reddit user that goes by a name that is not in the chat, but I have a suspicion I know who it is. I think the person who posted that has to be a viewer, right? The person who posted that has to be a viewer because they watched the stream. Obviously, they had to be a viewer. So it's one of you. It was one of you. It was one of you. I know that. And I think I know who it is, but this person posted with a different name than their display name in this chat. So I interpret that as a sign that you don't want those names connected. And I will respect that wish and not like call you out, even though I think I know who you are. I think I know who you are, but I don't know exactly. I don't know for sure, but I think I know who you are. I think you go by a different name in this chat. I'm not gonna call you out, but thank you for posting on that subreddit. Because I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't ask anyone to do that. It was just a funny joke that someone posted that ended up, you know, creating a bit more viewership, which was nice. Sorry, that was like a whole rant. I was not reading. I was watching an Animal Crossing YouTuber and she was like, get this video to 1 million likes and I'll continue. And I got around 900,000, but she never played it again. I understand not playing a game if there's no engagement, but you obviously have fans who want you to continue, but fuck them, I guess. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it's not a million, but there's like 900,000 people that's like, yeah, I want to see more of this. And you're just gonna be like, no, that's not enough. Fuck you, I'm walking away. No, like that is terrible. That's terrible to me. If one person mentions they want to play a game on the stream, it's permanently in my headspace floating around and I have it wishlisted on Steam. But the only reason I haven't played it yet is probably because I can't afford to buy it yet. It's like probably the only reason. Well, the only reason I don't own the game. I own some games that I intend to play, but I have not. The reason I haven't played them yet is because I have to find the time for it. To me, you are the VTuber who did the Socrates apology live, not the Class of 09 VTuber. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Either way is fine. I don't care if I am known as the Class of 09 VTuber. In fact, for a few like weeks after the Class of 09 craze, I searched up. I kept looking up Class of 09 VTuber on YouTube to see like how far I would have to scroll to see myself, and I was pleasantly surprised with some of the results. Like obviously there were the big VTubers that played it, but also, and mostly indie of course, because there's no way you can get away with playing this in like a strict corpo VTuber stream. But yeah. Don't want to be known for the 09 stream, granted. Monkey's paw curls. I will never forget how you taught me about moaning Leon is Kennedy in Dead by Daylight. I didn't teach you that. I just showed it to you because it reminded me of a joke. Because we were doing something. We were window shopping. We were talking about horror games, and I was reminded of a specific Tumblr post, and I thought that's hilarious, and I had to go back to see it again. I wasn't to go back to explicitly go to Leon Kennedy moaning. It's just specifically. Never mind. I'm not talking about it. I've been seeing a lot of Slay the Princess. Maybe that will do well. Yeah, I want to. I do want to stream Slay the Princess. It's not on sale though. I am waiting for it to be on sale. Slay the Princess. Let me check. Let me check if I have it on wishlist. Yeah, it's on my wishlist. It's not on sale yet. Oh, it is on sale. I'm an idiot. It is on sale. Until the 14th. It's on sale, 20% off. It is on sale. I was wrong. I was so wrong. It is on sale. 20% off. Still makes it a game that will cost money. So I'll see if I can buy it. We'll see. See if I can afford it by the end of the week. If not, then I'll play it some other time. I have so many games lined up anyway, so I'm not too worried about like not having a game to stream. I'm not in a rush either, so I'm not too worried. I've suggested Slay the Princess the Pristine Cut 3 times. If I bother him enough, he'll play it. It's on my wish list. You have suggested it enough. You don't have to suggest it anymore. It's on my wish list. I'm going to buy it if it's on a deep enough sale that I can afford it. Where is the burger flipping at? So I talked yesterday about burger flipping today. But I thought, okay, I'll just do, I don't want to be too distracted because this is the 6-month stream where I want to talk. So I'm just going to be talking in the stream. And then maybe tomorrow or like sometime this week, we'll do the burger flipping. Excuse me. Genuinely wasn't me, and I found out you were posted on it after it was mentioned on stream. I was like, holy, honestly, good for him. But whoever did it was a real one. Probably Fruitals, maybe, I don't know. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not calling anyone out. I think whoever that person is has their own like thing going on and is clearly a viewer but doesn't want to be like acknowledged as in the chat, so that's fine, you know. Thanks is it, I guess. I'm just gonna say thanks. Because that did kind of spread my joke further than I intended it to a good effect, because I intended the joke to just be to anyone who watches this, but it's spreading to like a different platform is fine. It's totally fine with me as well. But yeah, that's like the other silver lining of Class of 09, and I have to talk about it because like 6 months in, I am make or break. I'm a Class of 09 VTuber, whether I like it or not. The most defining feature of me currently, numerically at least, is my Class of 09 playthroughs. All 3 of my playthroughs have like 2,000 views. Technically, I have 4 playthrough streams, but like one of them was just finishing up the loose ends of 09, the original 09, for the endings of that. So I guess that doesn't really count. It's more a continuation of the first one. But enough people clicked into all of the 09 games that I knew. I was like, okay, this is the lightning in the bottle. I need to find the next thing now. That's not exactly this, but is something close. I've yet to hit it, but we're getting closer. But in the meantime, I'm also just going to be streaming. I'm going to be doing other concepts that I find are funny. Like Unemployment Week is a concept I've thought about for a while, and I've decided to do it this week. And there's going to be more themed things. I mean, you already, I've mentioned it so many times. You guys are like, the expectations are too high when it actually happens. But I have some ideas for February, what to do in February. So like, by the time February rolls around, you guys are going to be very disappointed because I'm going to have to, like, the expectation would have been so high that I never would have been able to meet it. Yeah, and I've got a little like karaoke stream for Christmas. That's about it. Those are the main things. that I have that are like events that I've really thought for longer for. February page. Expectations are too high. You guys need to lower your expectations. I just think I've been doing some fun like things in February, but I don't think it's that like, it's not going to be that much better than now, right? This is already pretty great. You know, I hate to be the one to say it, but this is already pretty great. I'm not going to lie. No, but I have to now say lower your expectations, but I do have some longer term plans. I have some further plans post February, but they are not nearly as concrete in their conceptualization. They're still in the process of drafting. I think I have a pretty good idea though of like what's going to happen in February. So yeah, I'm a class of 09 VTuber now. It'd be really funny if by the time I do the first year anniversary stream, 09 is still my most viewed thing by far, and I still have to bite the bullet and say, yeah, I'm still a 09 VTuber. I'm the guy that was incredibly shocked by how vile and obscene the scenes in 09 were, but was also strangely amused. Like, that's me. But also took it very seriously, because I think most people who played 09, here's my take on why I think 09 worked. Actually, I think that's good. It's good for me to say this now in this stream. This is the time to do it. I think the reason 09 really worked was because I had an interesting dynamic with the game, where the game was so over the top and obscene that my personality worked out to be a good foil for it. I think that's what happened. But at the same time, a lot of the people who play this game who are overwhelmed by how, you know, explicit it all is, how dark some bits get, also don't take it too seriously. They're like, you know, this is a work of satire and it's super obscene and funny. It's for the this is like, wow, what a bunch, like these are a bunch of TikTok clips, you know, which I think is fine, like if you want to enjoy a game that way. But I saw it, at least the first two games, and my interpretation is wavering because of the third. Trust me, I have gone through this existential crisis in like my media literacy as someone who enjoys playing video games, because I really read the first two games. I really interpreted the first two games as an interesting take on toxic feminism, on like, you know, on toxic what's the word? I said the word just now, like a few minutes ago. Toxic misandry, that's the word. Yeah, it's like toxic misandry that comes from a perspective that is terrifyingly accurate. Like, it's terrifying. It cuts really deeply into the social fabric of what it's like growing up, I would imagine, because I don't know. I live in the Library of Alexandria, but I would imagine in the US, like in 2009, that's what it would be like growing up. And I think that's what made it work. That's what made it really, really work. And I'd be remiss to pretend like, oh, I don't know, it was lightning in a bottle and try to recapture it again without saying, no, I think I understand. I have an interpretation for why this worked out the way it did, and I'm going to try to chase that success to some degree. Expectations are at a comfortable 5 and I will enjoy no matter what happens. That's good. Please have it kept neutrally. Have some expectations, so if it's not very good, you can, you know, blame me for it, but don't have it too high so that I can never live up to it. Chairman, I don't know if you realize it is not what you will do that will raise the expectation, but the fact that they will let the beast loose. I know, I'm aware. He will become ultra mega broke after all the game recommendations and end up playing cool math games. Yeah, pretty much. I'll be ultra mega broke. I already am, but like, but also I have a ton of games to play. I have a ton of cool games to play. This is the thing. On my like Steam list, there's a ton of games I already bought because I was like, this is gonna be really fun if I stream it. One of the games I wanted to stream that I now bought is Detroit Become Human. I've already watched gameplay of it years ago, but it's been years and I haven't revisited it. I love the game so much, but I never actually got to play it, and I really want to play it for myself. The problem is I don't know if I can stream it. I don't know if my if I cannot handle House Flipper, I don't think I can handle Detroit Become Human. And so for the meantime, it's sitting in my library, but I'm gonna figure out how to do it. That's exactly why I became a regular. Good that well, okay, that's good. It's good that I had the proper reading on that. Expectation February are a headache. End of semester. Okay, I understand. Maybe a cake and vibes. No cake, unfortunately, from me. Maybe you could make yourself a cake. That'd be good. Cake is quite nice. Don't have too much, but you know, the right amount of dessert is fun. It's worth having. And vibes, yeah, it's that, yeah. The thing that made me keep watching it was when you were scolding Nicole for bullying Jeffrey and offering advice to the socially awkward, and then 10 minutes later you're like, fuck Jeffrey. I don't know, so because it's like a weird branching timelines, like what if these things happen, right? But in a world, in one of the worlds that happened, where your decisions weren't that much different, Jeffrey becomes a fucking creep and like takes takes pictures of like near naked Nicole, like, and that's when I was like, okay, I am much less sympathetic and much more like, there needs to be consequences to your fucking actions. Was what it came down to. Because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to be on your side ultimately when there is any, like, I want to understand where because I understand, like, because being misunderstood is one of the worst feelings in the world. I get it. I understand being misunderstood, but there's only so much sympathy I can offer if you continue to tread down the path of shitty actions and behavior. And I will still sympathize with you, but first things first is I will lay down the law. And the laying down the law on Jeffrey is you are bearing the consequences of your fucking actions. That's laying down the law. But yeah, the 09 Lightning in a Bottle is not coming back in a while. I can't imagine when it will, because it's such a unique game. There's nothing quite like Class of 09 is the other thing. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play in the first place, was because I was like, I've never seen anything like this. I think I really love this. Like, that was my reaction to it. The third game comes out and I'm questioning all my my media literacy and my interpretation of like literature and text. Now I'm wondering, oh shit, like, was this always creepy from the beginning and I just didn't see it? What's going on? I don't know. Is this cutting social commentary, or is it just an excuse for a creep to be a creep? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Terrified. That's why I can't say that I'm confident I know what's going on in 09, because the first two games and the third game are such a huge clash, and they are at least reportedly made by the same people. Some people have coped that, oh, maybe the writing team was different and they're just lying about it, but you know, until there's evidence of that, I have to believe that these were all created by the same group of people and the same dev, the same like writer. Have mixed feelings about Detroit Become Human because David Cage, story is good, but David Cage is like, this game has no allusions to American slavery or the civil rights protests and he's a major creep. Okay. I don't know about the lore of him being a creep, David Cage, but that's exactly my gripe with Detroit Become Human, and that's actually one of the reasons why I want to stream is because I want to talk about that, because I don't think I see enough people who play the game and talk about, like, in a gameplay commentary, discuss how kind of weird it is when you have like androids, and they are androids. We've seen them be created. They are robots. They actually are fundamentally kind of different to humans. How different? You know, that's up for debate because this is a fictional setting, right? But we do know that they were created as from machinery. And you have a whole sequence at the end of the game where, okay, am I spoiling it? Okay. I'm not spoiling it too much. It's like just a little bit. Okay, close your ears. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do the thinking pose now. That's me talking about Detroit Become Human spoilers. If you don't want to see it, mute the stream. If you don't want to see any spoilers at all, it's very light. It's not even a big spoiler. But if you want to hear any spoilers, like, mute the stream while I have this on, and then I'm gonna take it off when I'm done talking about it. Okay? Here's me talking about
on Detroit Become Human briefly before I replay it, like in the far future, because you know I'm probably not going to be able to play in the near future, but I want to talk about it. Okay. The thing with 09, the thing with Detroit Become Human's one of the last arcs that happens in it, where is it Marcus? It's Marcus's route, where they're marching for their rights. They're marching for their rights as androids, and they're doing the whole thing where, you know, androids are people too, is very obviously one-to-one supposed to make you think about the civil rights protests, the American civil rights protests. Like, you are supposed to see that. If you don't see that, you have failed the very basic media literacy of the game. If you didn't see that, right? And so first of all, the author, like, going out and denying at all that there's any influence is bullshit. It's just totally bullshit. And I can't imagine that he actually believes that, because if he does, then that's that might be indicative of the quality of the writing. But second of all, you are now, like it or not, you are drawing a comparison of mechanical, like, of robots in this fictional world fighting for their rights to be recognized as human, and you're drawing that comparison to black people who were actually thought of as subhuman, even though they are just as human as the rest of us. And if you're comparing that real historical event to robots, to machinery, we're in the world of the game, right? It is true that they are actually not human, and you're comparing that to a movement that's trying to humanize people that were not deemed humans, like, by society at large. That's multiple kinds of fucked up. That is multiple kinds of fucked up and tone deaf and a complete misunderstanding of what's going on with, like, both your game and events that happen around the game, like the themes that you are, as the game's writer, engaging with. You're obviously playing with these themes. You chose to write this. You chose to write this part of Marcus, and you have to bear the consequences of choosing to write this. If you decide to, like, not, you can't just say, oh, it has nothing, no correlation. You wrote this. You had that part. And because of that, you have to bear the consequences of writing something that's very tone deaf and very, like, it comes off very, very, like, it comes off bad. Like, it comes off insensitive and not at all understanding, and only having a surface level understanding of, you know, American politics, which for a game trying to be deep is the worst sin you can commit, is to not actually be deep. That's my rant. Yep. Hold on. And that part of the Detroit Become ChatGPT is the dumbed down activist movement. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kate Cock is better. Like a majority of sci-fi, only the aesthetic saves, unfortunately. Yeah. Don't think too much about the concentration. Yeah. Oh man, it's really rough, because it's like, I love the character dynamics. I love Connor and Hank so much. I really liked Kara up until the end, and then I really hated Kara. But, like, up until that, I really liked Kara. I liked all the characters. I thought the themes are super interesting. The aesthetic is incredible. The political drama was just, like, it was really, really interesting. And then it all kind of towards the end fell apart, because you realize, oh no, this guy the writer doesn't actually know what they're talking about. David Cage is quite shit, to be fair. He's got a track record. Tropical Human is only good because he tried it like 4 times. I see. Okay. I'm not too aware of the David Cage lore, so I can't profess to be an expert on it, but it's the type of game I would imagine if I could stream Detroit Become Human, it's the type of game that I could play where I would be able to, like, I'd be able to enjoy it, but there would also be parts where there's something meaningful I could say about it. Namely the rants I had earlier, that I think is not very present in all the playthroughs I watched from
from various YouTubers I watched the playthroughs of, because I couldn't afford to get the game back then when it came out, so I watched people play it instead, you know, and you do that. See Marcus going into the Android compartment made me cackle because it's like, all right, we're doing this. Yeah. Oh, we're doing this. Every David Cage game has at least one shower scene or a scene of a woman changing her appearance. Ah, I didn't know that, but thank you for telling me. Vibe music after the random school experience. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope the music offsets my seeming my derangement from being upset for video game writing. Like, it's not a very important thing in the world in the grand scheme of things, but it makes me very upset sometimes. That and YouTube, as you may have imagined. One second. Okay. I need to end the scene. I need to end the stream soon. I need to the FBI are at my door. I need to end the stream soon. So I have to wrap up with things I want to talk about. I think I've talked about mostly everything. So the philosophy I've talked about. 09. I've talked about goals and monetization and what that all means. I've talked about VTubing as a whole. Again, I do that a lot. I do that too much because, like, it's funny when whenever I launch into a whole tirade about VTubing, I have to remind myself there's a good portion of the people in my chat who don't actually watch other VTubers and are just completely unaware of what's going on. I don't need to know. Oh shit, I'm done talking about David Cage and Detroit Become Human. We're done talking about David Cage. So yeah, like, I think we've covered most of the points. Wachowski sisters did a better robot working class revolt than Detroit. Interesting. I will look into that. Heavy Rain, Charis Beyond Two Souls, Charis Scenes, The Wind When Life. Life is Strange. Wait, was he also behind Life is Strange? Interesting. Oh, to the point that when Life is Strange had a shower scene, fans were like, did David Cage make it? Okay. And that he allegedly copied from the show Humans. Everything I hear about this person makes me feel worse about the thing that came out that I enjoyed. That sucks. I learned how to do I learned how to roll a coin on my knuckle because of Connor. The android sent by Cyberlife. He wasn't, but it was a French Canadian game, so we check out. I see. So the Death Squad's coming for me soon. The VTuber Death Squad is coming for me soon. I'll have to wrap up my points really quickly and just say farewell. I'll try to post a schedule to later today or tomorrow. And I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll try to stream the day after though, because I do need a little bit of a break. I can't stream consecutively. I just don't have enough energy, unfortunately. I'm sad about it, but yeah. And I'm sure you guys have much better things to do. So, you know, it'd be good to have you guys do more meaningful things than watch a Charis Euphranor live stream with your leisure time, right? So what else? What are the last things I want to talk about? I suppose I want to talk about Tragically for 1 year. Yeah, Tragically for 1 year. I've talked briefly about how I have some plans made for certain events. Like, for example, I want to do a Christmas karaoke. I want to do something fun for February. But beyond that, I'm not too sure what will happen until June. My goal, my hope is, and this isn't me asking you, and it wouldn't be, because all of you here, I would imagine anyone who's in this live stream right now is already, you know, subscribed, so it's not at all something I have to convince you of. So by 1 year, my goal is to hit 500 subscribers. I think it's doable. I think it's very doable to be at 500 subscribers. The dream is to be at 1,000, because that way by 1 year I can get all the monetization of YouTube just out of the way. Because I think monetization will change the channel structure a little bit, inevitably so. And like it or not, I think it's best I do it, because I could choose not to do it. I thought about it. I can choose not to enable any monetization, but I think I want to do it so I can learn from it. I think it's something I want to learn about. But I'm not going to promote it again, right? If I do, you'll know someone backstabbed me and I'm now replaced by an imposter. Hopefully I can get 1,000 subscribers because I have enough of the watch hours to tick the other boxes. I don't have to worry about watch hours at all. Hopefully when that milestone is reached, the channel structure will change a little bit. It will still be mostly the same, but there will be some differences that I hope are going to be for the better, not for the worse. I hope the changes are going to be for the better. And then after year 1, everything is just entirely up to how good I can be. If there's no more external factors, I think it's just I'm going to play games, I'm going to stream, I'm going to do stuff. And if I stagnate or whatever, it's entirely my fault and I need to pick up the pace, right? That's the goal. That's the idea. The shape, like right now we're still in the molding the shape of the channel phase. I hope by year 1 we get that done. Maybe not. Maybe we don't reach that subscriber milestone, in which case, you know, whatever. We'll wait a few more months. I don't care. But we're still in the molding phase, so that is going to, like, I am more than willing to wait and adapt and see what happens. Cleric stream, woohoo! I know you're excited for the Cleric stream, and you have to know that I'm trying to live up to that expectation. I'm not doing very well. Which one is it I'm struggling with right now? I can't do Last Christmas very well. I'm trying really hard to work on Last Christmas. I just don't know what like octave to hit it through to sing it through. I'm not familiar with music terminology either. I'm not very musically inclined. So I hope I don't fuck that up too much. But that's like right now one of the songs I'm really trying. I'm not doing very well at. So when the time comes and it's bad, you'll know why. I'm prefacing it here now. Could have used this time to eat, but chairman streams higher on the hierarchy of needs. Just eat now. Eat while you watch a stream. You could do that. I eat while I watch streams all the time. 1K would be very cool and be something to look forward to. It would be cool. I think it's because that way, like, I can get all of the structural changes of the channel out of the way, and whatever is there, whatever is remaining is like, this is what it's going to be like going forward, right? You open a wine for 1K? I would too. I'd probably get something like not too fancy, but I'm gonna open like a whiskey. I might. Oh, I don't know. Whiskey sounds good. I want whiskey. Oh, it's been so long since I've had whiskey. No, it hasn't been that long. It's been like a month or 2. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyways, that's not the point. It's okay to admit you want monetization because you have bills to pay. I do have bills to pay, but I don't want to pay it through YouTube. I think it's an unrealistic expectation to have, first of all. But second of all, also, like, I kind of want this to be a separate thing. Okay, hold on. Do I want to talk about this? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll talk about it. Okay. I want Charis Euphranor to be Charis Euphranor, and I don't want Peter Parker to be entangled with Spider-Man. I don't want to deal with. I don't want to pay Peter Parker's rent with Spider-Man's earnings. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to use the suit and the mask and the powers to deal with what I deal with on a regular basis as Peter Parker. That's what I don't want to do. I want to deal with my Peter Parker problems as Peter Parker. And I want to deal with my Spider-Man problems as Spider-Man. That's what I want. Last Christmas is gonna be fine. I hope. Hi chat. Hello Zero Striker. I'm just about to end stream, so I apologize. You came in right at the end. Charis gonna pay his bills in the good way, working with the cartel. Dude, when I was watching Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, I finished watching that recently for the first time, and like I just kept seeing all the scenes where there's stacks and stacks of money. I'm like, oh man, they could throw me one stack and I would do it. Like my life would be so much easier if like this entire crate of money, like just one little band was thrown in my direction, my life would change. My life would just change. Like such a small amount of that would already be life-changing money. It's insane how much money they do in the cartel. But that was just me watching it. And then I thought, oh wait, no, but they're like selling drugs. Maybe I wouldn't do that. Whiskey drinking stream. I'm not even like, I was gonna say like, okay, I'm not even that good at drinking whiskey, and I know what it sounds like. Oh, what do you mean good at drinking whiskey? You could be good at drinking like at like alcohol appreciation, and I want to be better at it, and I'm not. So that's one of the things I'm trying to be better with. So you just want to stay indie and like stay kayfabe, not blur the lines too much. I think this is the current way things are going. I don't think, yeah, in terms of like how I stream and who I am. Okay, I can say this because I'm not going to mention names. So it should be okay. You know how in my Twitter description and in my like, I think my channel description as well, it might be there, might not be there, on my profiles and my various socials, right? It goes like this: first and last philosopher VTuber, the last librarian of Alexandria, and desperately unemployed. One day Spider-Man, the goal is one day Spider-Man will get a job. Spider-Man will get employed. That's the goal. One day Charis Euphranor will be employed and will no longer have to be a philosopher VTuber. That's the goal, actually. It's to be employed. But I don't want to just be employed. I want to be employed by a good work environment. Yeah. He's gonna go hungry with a full wallet just to live in true philosopher life. Such an extreme actor. Haven't had whiskey yet. What's it like? It feels like it feels like you're 40 years old and you're in like a wood office and you're engaging in things much bigger than yourself. That's what that feels like. Can't appreciate alcohol because it makes you fall asleep. I understand, and I wish I had that problem though, because I wish I could I wish I could knock myself out with one drink, man. Sorry, that's the philosopher talking. Excuse that. You're going to leave us, so go, the kids will miss you. I didn't say I'm going to leave you. I said, ideally, I'm going to leave you. I said, ideally, I'm leaving you. Not forever, but ideally I'm leaving you because I'm gonna be busy with a job. I will not be desperately unemployed. I look forward to erasing that part of the description on my Twitter and on my channel. I look forward to being able to do that. And I'm not saying, you know, oh, like it will happen, but I'm saying I want it to happen and I'm trying to will it to happen. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave you. You're gonna have to deal with not a graduation. It's not gonna be a graduation because it's like maybe I get fired from like my job and then I'll have to come back. Look, I can't promise much, but I can hope that if I do get a job, I'm not gonna be around the library much, right? So you won't be able to see me at the library, but maybe you'll see me at my office. Maybe you'll see me wherever I'm working. But you're not gonna see me at the library if I get a job, right? Because I won't be here working. I'll be somewhere else working. Saying ideally will make me hope for the worst because I won't be able to see your streams, so we wish for a note. So let's just say you won't see me here in the library in the ideal circumstance. But you might be able to visit my office if that were the case. If I get like a nice cushy job, you know, you'll be able to come visit me at my office. And then maybe if I get fired from my nice cushy job because I fuck up somewhere, I'll come back to the dinky library of Alexandria, and then you'll come back and you'll be able to see me here again. But the hope is I get to at least experience what the cushy job is like, you know? That's what it's like. Finally to know which side your biscuit is better. Is that an expression? I don't know what that means. That's a good thing to end on. I think that's the last thing I wanted to mention. On this 6-month anniversary. Here's the thing, I'm gonna be unemployed. Look at me, I'm a philosophy major. we are renowned to be. It's not true though. Statistically, actually, it's not true. Philosophy majors are actually more employable than a lot of other like degrees. Like philosophy majors are actually not at all unemployable. That's just a stereotype that's untrue. But you know, I'm a philosopher VTuber. We're not very employable. Companies are not looking for they're not gonna be looking for philosophy majors. That's just not a thing companies look for. But hopefully I get to convince them that that's what they want. Actually, this is gonna do you good. I doubt I will, but it probably won't. I'll probably still just hang around here. I'm still just as unemployed as ever, desperately unemployed as ever. And if that is not the case, like in the worst case scenario, that's what's gonna happen. The worst case scenario is this just keeps continuing. And you know what? That's not that bad of a worst case scenario. Actually, the worst case scenario is like I get hit by lightning and I die. That's probably the worst case scenario. If that happens, what happens if I die? I've thought about that. What happens if like a terribly tragic accident occurs? I'm probably going to have some people on my behalf talk about that then. I think if I were to die, there are people in my life that will be able to relay the message to Charis Euphranor viewers that yeah, I have moved on to the spirit realm. So that you'll get closure, I'm sure, if I die. If I disappear for some time, but I'm not dead, that means I will come back. So that disappearance might be a little scary, but no, if there's no closure, know that I will come back. If there's no closure, right? If there's closure, then you'll know I'm dead. If you have a magenta envelope with $50 on your new desk in your new office when you get there, I just want the desk. I just want the desk. I just want the desk. That's all I want. I just want the desk. I imagine that I would appreciate an envelope, but I don't need to see an envelope. I just want to see the desk. Don't come crying home to us when you get fired. A whole of welcome home cheater sign. That's not like, hey, business is business. Business is business. I'm a VTuber. That's all I am. Worst case scenario is I get stuck in a glue trap, maybe. But you'll know if I get stuck in a glue trap. I'll make mention of that. Worst case is I'm banished and receive a hemlock martini. Hemlock martini. Okay, I gotta go. That's the last thing. I think that's a nice note to end on. I said like that's a nice. I've said I'm conscious. I'm aware of this. I've said that's a good note to end on. I said that like 3 times with the span of the last 20 minutes. I know I said this is now the end of the stream. I'm holding my hands up. This is the end of the stream. I'm gonna stop talking. I really could go on forever, but I shouldn't because I have to go. I gotta go. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good time, day, week, evening, morning, afternoon. Hopefully there will be a stream, maybe not tomorrow, but the day after. Maybe there'll be a schedule tomorrow. I'll be streaming for the following week as well, and I'll be streaming pretty much leading up to the karaoke stream at least, and then maybe I'll take a little bit of a break. But the karaoke stream is like the 21st. Well, that's the next Saturday. That's kind of scary. Okay, so in 2 weeks I'm going to be doing a Christmas karaoke, and then I don't know if I'll be here after that. I might not be. Depends. I might be streaming on Christmas Day like the lonely degenerate that I am. That could happen. I'm a philosopher, you know. You can expect that. You have to expect anything. But yeah, 6 months. That's it. See me soon. I will see you soon, hopefully. Goodbye. God, it's been 6 months already? That's crazy.
I have to do this. I have to do 6 more months of this for it to be a year. That's when I can talk about like the lore. That's crazy. In the meantime, you should all, if you have the time, try to figure out the lore and what it means. Try to figure it out. You don't have to tell me the answer. Just in your head, figure it out. And over the course of the next 6 months, review the channel trailer and think about the aesthetic maybe. And then in 6 months time, you will see what the answer is, because I will tell you what the answer is. There's a correct answer, or at least there's my intention, the author's intention, which you might disagree with, but I hope you do in a good way disagree with my intention when the time comes. And then you get to, it's fun, isn't it fun? Reading into things and seeing the author's intent behind it and understanding the text and kind of gaining and reading beneath the lines on the surface, delving into this sort of deep pool of not enlightenment, but of idea. It's a pool of pure concentrated concept. It's fascinating, isn't it? To dive into that. And one of the ways we can do that as humans is to read. And I don't mean read something. I mean really read something. Get beneath it, right? To just have it entangled with your soul for a moment. Anyways, you have 6 months to do that before I reveal the answer. And so you can see what the intention was. Archon of the Demiurge on the Matrix connected to the wire. It's all in Allegria of the cave. Haven't done that since Mineko. Okay. Or about the end of the Ghost of the Shell? Maybe. Up to interpretation. Alright, that's it. That's my last message is to ask everyone to read more. That's it. I'm going now.